What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? John here with you. It's a Sunday morning, bright and early. It's 8 a.m. on the East Coast, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, but we are here. Gold medal game. Both teams 5-0-0 in this Olympic tournament so far, and this is the last event essentially before the closing ceremonies. For Team Canada, head coached by John Cooper, we'll just go through the lineup. It sounds like this. Sam Bennett, Macklin, Celebrini, Sidney, Crosby, Elliott, Friedman is reporting is out. Will miss a third straight game. Brandon Hagel, Bo Horvat, Seth Jarvis, Nathan MacKinnon, Brad Marchand, Mitchell Marner, Connor McDavid, Sam Reinhart, Mark Stone, Nick Suzuki, and Tom Wilson is your forward group. Drew Doughty, Thomas Harley, Cale, Makar, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko, Travis Sanheim, Shea Theodore, Devon Toews is your defensive group. Jordan Binnington is going to get the start in net tonight. Darcy Kemper and Logan Thompson also available. And for the United States, also 5-0-0. Head coach by Mike Sullivan. Matt Boldy, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes, Jake Getzel, Clayton Keller, Dylan Larkin, Auston Matthews, JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Tage Thompson, and Benny Trocheck. On defense, Brock Faber, Noah Hannafin, Quinn Hughes, Jackson Lacombe, Charlie McAvoy, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, and Zach Werenski. Connor Hellebuyck, Jake Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman are your goaltenders. Connor Hellebuyck will get the start in net tonight one more time. Again, you have about 8-hour difference in Milano Cortina. This is going to set in right for the closing ceremonies to be the last one. Time on ice, they're showing all of it for the big dogs. And again, with no Sidney Crosby, it's going to be Macklin, Celebrini on that top line still. No slouches. He sits 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. Second in tournament goals scoring, only behind Connor McDavid, who's got 13 points, 2 goals, and 11 assists. Showing Connor Hellebuyck in the tunnel right now for the Stars and Stripes. You know what? For Connor Hellebuyck, honestly, you can talk about the Hart trophies, MVPs, and everything else. This is the most important game in Connor Hellebuyck's career. He has the entire nation of USA on life support, essentially, because it's going to start with him in net. Now, the only thing I said, I gave you 2 predictions. I gave you one from the heart that the USA would win today against Team Canada, and that would be by a score of like 5-3. It would have to be a high-scoring game because we expect Connor Hellebuyck's going to be able to give up some goals, and that Canada pressure is going to be too much for him to have to deal with. The realistic prediction is somewhere along 4-2, being analytical for Team Canada. Now, this would entail Team USA giving up maybe a handful of power plays, 3 or 4 to Canada, and Canada probably converting on 2 of those. It's the best offensive attack in the world, and when you give them that extra attacker, and you have guys like Macklin, Celebrini, Connor McDavid, and Nathan MacKinnon on that top power play line alongside Cale Makar, that's absolutely unstoppable. So if the United States are going to win this game, they've got to be able to do so and stay out of the box. I would say 2 or less. 4-2 is the likely result. It's been 46 years to the day since the miracle on ice. They showed Jordan Binnington about a 91.3 save percentage. Numbers are good, not great. Jordan Binnington probably will give up a couple, but you won't expect him to give up much more than that. Connor Hellebuyck has been in spellbinding. They give up the last couple against Slovakia in that 6-2 victory, almost a 95% save percentage for the United States. He has been the goaltender of record. Jeremy Swayman had the one game at the puck that beat him against the boards. But other than that, you knew it was going to be Hellebuyck's goal crease. So really, the only thing that's going to be different this time around, you got Tage Thompson, you got Charlie McAvoy, you got Quinn Hughes, some extra reinforcements. Yes, Tage is good to go. That would keep Dylan Larkin in his same spot, probably in the bottom 6. Dylan Larkin, last 2 times out, the Trent Edmonds captain, and again, I want to say this selfishly, has scored the first goal of the game for the United States. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan MacKinnon runs that drawback, and Team Canada will send this around the inboards. I'm going to stay here with you all the way through this coverage, and then once it's done, probably take a nap. Maybe it could be a story later. But we're going to give you the entire call. We're going to all be up early and enjoy this together. And here's a slap shot from long range that will catch the left side of the glass. Brock Faber. We'll send this back around. Matthew Tkachuk. And up the puck battle, it's Jack Eichel. He gets lifted off his feet, trying to battle near the right side boards. USA steals, sets it up from Getzel to Eichel, and that one goes wide. Jordan Binnington. Now on the left side boards, United States on the forecheck, get the steal. The backhand, as they'll loop it back around for Jake Getzel. This is center wide again in the left side red line. Jake, we get a retrieval. Here is a pass attempt across that misses. There's Charlie McAvoy. Has it on the left up. Baldy sends it toward the net. The United States looking good early with this forecheck as we recollected across the wall. Baldy helped to keep it in. McAvoy up high in the slot. This one fought off in front before it ever hit Binnington. There's Macklin Celebrini now. Auston Matthews will finish his hit. And this goes back now for the defense of Team Canada. Thomas Harley will slow it down. Breakout pass. Bennett gets taken off his feet. Again, we're not going to see all that fighting that we saw in Four Nations within this first minute. So it looks like the first 90 seconds have expired. Connor Hellebuyck misplaying behind the net. Give Devon Toews some possession. Bennett shoots, and this goes right into the glove hand of Connor Hellebuyck. 18-23 in the first. Canada looks to get the first shot of the game. U.S. had pressure for about 60 seconds. And we get our first stoppage at 18-23. Here is a back pass for the United States. This is a stick shot into the left side of the zone as Canada will content to flip this down. Vinny Trocheck will try to go ahead and get a chase. I'll get Ian in here in a moment. Here's a back pass, and Connor Hellebuyck will hold. I had to make sure that he did so at this point as we get a little bit of pushing and shoving here. Vinny Trocheck gets tied up. We got JT Miller for the U.S. as well. Taking a look at the Canada side of who is tied up, that was Bo Horvat. Ian, it's good to see you here. You were the first one to join in. I'm hoping we can get Alec at some point, maybe Cooper toward the third period because it's 5:14 in the morning for him. It's early for all of us. We don't want to miss this event.
I told you I'd be here, man. So, there I am.
You are a real one. Get yourself some coffee, some breakfast, hang out for a little bit. I don't plan on going anywhere until this is done. Jacob Slavin now will flip this one down the ice. This is played by Devon Toews with the glove hand. In Canada now, again in the all red with the black pants. Toews, good entry off the drop across the left wing. This will be rattled around the inboards now for the United States. Pass up the gut. That's Eichel. Full spin. This pass is contested. And Canada gets it out away from the slot. And Slavin rattled around the inboards, and Jordan Binnington will stop from the right side. Canada look get acclimated here. Just one shot on the board. Canada's got it. USA had pressure for the first minute. As Nathan MacKinnon trying to find McDavid up the gut. US left side blue line will get this out for Charlie McAvoy. Push ahead. This will be immediately stolen by Thomas Harley. Right to the left side for Macklin Celebrini. Float pass for Nathan MacKinnon. Goes just wanting. And at one time gets fanned on by Colton Parayko. This is on the right side. This will be picked back up now for Harley on the backhand of the right bumper. It's Connor McDavid now. Trying to break out of his own end. He gets tied up by Matthews, but a good pass middle of the slot. Here's Harley. One more. And this one gets deflected right to Hellebuyck near the right side of the crease. 16:40 left to go in the first. D-zone draw, won by the United States. As this is picked up back by Brock Nelson. This will go to the D-core here for Mike Sullivan's squad. This is 46 years to the day there of the Miracle on Ice. You know, they've said that in the open. This is an event that we've been waiting for since the Four Nations of last year, almost a year to the day at that point. Picked up now on the backhand. Here is JT Miller as this goes back around the point for Jordan Binnington. No problem in behind the goal crease. As this will be looped in off the deflection. United States will hold it in. Slap this one in deep. Vinny Trocheck now trying to get a stick lift as this goes to the right side boards. Here's Canada. It's 2-on-3. And off the drop pass, wrister. And right in the glove, Connor Hellebuyck off the long chance from Mark Stone. He will make the save. Showing some of the early hitting on the camera shots for NBC. This is where I'm carrying it. So on the regular Channel 4 here locally, not Peacock, but if anything does go awry by overtime, then I can flip it back there and not miss anything. Jack Hughes standing up near on the bench as well. You got some camera shots of JT Miller. It is Sam Bennett to take an ozone draw. He'll win it straight back, but the United States will steal. Logan on the left side red line. As this is flipped back around for Tage Thompson. Again, good to see him back out there from leaving the third period of the previous game against Slovakia. Devon Toews will send it in, and Connor Hellebuyck had some trouble between his skates. This will go back out to the point. Canada's got puck possession, turnaround chance for Marner. That one goes wide. This is now to the right side red line. Bennett on his back check. He's looking in the middle of the slot as Marchand will throw this out. Huge hit behind the net. And the United States will throw this one back out across Canada's defensive zone. Stick chop stolen. Dylan Larkin did it. This is looped across the right side glass for Jack Hughes. And Canada now gets possession. They have the first 3 shots on the board inside the first 5 minutes of the game. As this will be sent in deep. Now to the left side, Canada with another hit and drawing the crowd to its feet. It's been physical here as they showed it. Brady Tkachuk eludes one against Hagel, and then Tkachuk loses the puck. This is picked up by the U.S. back line right across center ice. Get chased now for Horvat. It's too far, and the U.S. will get an ozone and an icing. 14:36. We're still scoreless. Tom Wilson got Dylan Larkin on that one. That makes me a little bit queasy because they're going to need Dylan by Wednesday when they start again. Chase up the gut, and there'll be another icing here. Hagel can't get there first. McAvoy beats it out at 14:30. Like Sullivan now looking on the bench. Dylan Larkin no worse for wear, so that is good to see. Again, the NHL season does resume on Wednesday. The Red Wings, I believe, are in action Thursday against the Ottawa Senators. It's the last event before the closing ceremonies. John here with you alongside Ian Genge gracefully joins me here. We'll see if anyone else joins the launch party, and I'll send a feeler out for the intermission. As this will be looped in, McAvoy, left side of the glass. It'll be settled down for Cale Makar. I haven't had a chance to call his name. He got his teammate with Devon Toews from 160 feet. This will touch the glove of Connor Hellebuyck. Now to the left side corner, Auston Matthews will get it out. U.S. does not have numbers. Here's a flip. Backhand. Scores! Are you kidding me? What a move for the United States. Beats the pressure. And the first shot of the game beats Jordan Binnington off a 1-on-3. It's looped ahead on a backhand. It goes 5-hole through Binnington. And the U.S. scores.
Matthew Boldy with the first
Yes.
strike. Wow.
I had to look at the number. Thank you for that, Ian. Boldy just making the work. And off the flip, he gets his own. As this is an entry into the left side red line, pushes it ahead, wins a stick check battle against Toews on the left, and then puts it past Binnington. That's incredible.
All right. The boys in the red, white, and blue better get ready close now.
Yes, they are, Ian. You said it exactly right. What an unbelievable goal for Matt Boldy right at 6 minutes of the Minnesota Wild. That would feel good for Bill Guerin as part of putting this team together. But Ian's exactly right. Long pass, 1-on-2. U.S. have it now. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Back along to his brother Matthew. Matthew fans on it partially. Nathan MacKinnon on a back pass. Here's Connor McDavid off the rush. McDavid now left side, red line. This is where the puck is now, sent toward the back post. Picked up now by McDavid, throws it back up to the point. Drew Doughty had it for a moment. Right side dot, up the gut, and a little bit of a hook, not called, thankfully for the U.S. As this one gets out, Brady Tkachuk, good work finishing his hit. Left side red line gets cleared in. If you're just joining us, as Ian called it, Matthew Boldy, first goal of the game at 6 minutes off his own flip and chase. Get a whistle at 12:59. Oh yeah, it's all you could do there. I like that call from Benny Olchuk, and he and I said the same thing. What you gonna do there? You got to win a stick battle and flip it up to yourself, buy the space, and that's what Boldy did. And behind the net now for Canada, U.S. scores on their first shot. Marner trying to send it to the net. U.S. looking for Vinny Trocheck, and he gloved out of the air. He'll be sent back down now for J.T. Miller. And looked in behind Canada's net. John Cooper's squad behind. Canada's been behind in a few of these games that have called over the last year to come back to win them all, though. But it's only one goal. It's 4 shots to 1 on the board. Matthew Boldy's got the only one so far. This is picked up off the back pass for Noah Hannafin. Keeping his head up now is Zach Werenski. Werenski's been excellent in this tournament on the blue line for Team USA. Try to find Jack Hughes toward the left side, blue one. Brad Marchand. It's dispossessed by Jack. They go back to Zach Werenski off the touch pass. Decor still got it now. They'll loop it in on the right side to an open area. And Brad Marchand. Ride this across the right side bumper to Devon Toews. Back to the point of Cale Makar. And this will be looped back up. Marchand with a soft forecheck, but the United States defense has it now. Charlie McAvoy pushed this one up the gut beautifully. It's a 1-on-4 though. U.S. fight for puck possession back and behind the end boards. Throw it out back to the point. Slap shot deflected. Good save, Binnington. He needed that one there. He might get our first commercial break. U.S. lead this one by a score of 1-0. So I'm going to do the story a little bit after the game because I got to take the missus out to dinner. I'm going to go back to sleep when this is done, probably go out about 7 o'clock. I will get some written content, but I want to make sure to get up to get this full call. Either way, we're going to stay here with you all the way through that, but the story will come later. We'll see how happy we'll be at the end of it. Either way, somebody's guaranteed to get a silver medal. And between the USA and Canada and the women, historically, as we talked about as well, he's been with me on these calls lately. Aaron Frankel, that was crazy. And then Megan Keller, locally from Michigan, with the game winner, the defenseman.
Yeah. Well, I hope you and the missus have a great. I hope you and the missus have a great date night after this.
Yes, it will be a lot of fun, and just to have you here for this, we're going to remember where we were in this game. I mean, it's Four Nations was the precursor. This is the main appetizer. Good start so far for Team USA. Matthews, McAvoy, we see them on the line now, being ozone draw for the USA. They are in the jerseys of the white, blue pants, and red striping. United States, or That's what the United States have. Canada has all red with the black pants and the leaf emblazoned in the middle. As this one sent back to the point now for Marchand. Gets tied up a little bit, and now this will be an opportunity for Cale Makar. Stopped him behind the net. Connor Hellebuyck, another good hit. This one knocked down Marchand. And Boldy with a long flip, trying to get around Toews now. Jay Getzel with a stick battle. Toews have to throw this one out in the corner. Sam Bennett. Now Marchand leads the rush, got Bennett with him. A good back check there for the United States. Knocked that away. That was Matthews. Picked up in the high slot by Nate Dogg. This is sent across from Celebrini now to Marchand, and Marchand lost it. United States will go ahead and send this in. Matthew Boldy back in behind now for Jordan Binnington, does not touch. And the decor of Canada get things going again with Travis Sanheim. Thought I saw number 6 out there. This is Binnington. Stop this one. The Macklin Celebrini. Again, remember, he's 19. He could have played in the World Juniors. He's second leading scorer in the Olympics. Nathan MacKinnon. Now to Celebrini with a ripper. That one's a good save by Connor Hellebuyck with the left pad. Canada looking dangerous now. This goes back in the high slot. Celebrini again. Up high. Connor McDavid stick lifted, and the near back door was MacKinnon, but that was fought off by Connor Hellebuyck with the left pad. Pass in the middle of the slot is right to the U.S., and they're going to have to relieve the pressure, but they've iced it. Halfway to go in the first. Shot board is 6-2 Canada, 9:58. USA still got the lead, but they got to deal with an ozone draw.
How's everyone doing here?
Feeling pretty good, Alec. It's a good start for the United States. We got to get going on the shot board here. We're halfway through this one. D-zone draw is 1 for the Americans. As this goes back down to Travis Sanheim, it's just good to have you on board here, Alec. Picked up now near the right side as this is looped in behind the end boards. And United States board check. Dylan Larkin trying to get this one out. Here's a slap shot wide of the left post. Brandon Hagel now on the chase as the U.S. try to get out of their own end. This one's nicely chipped off the glass. It's Larkin waiting for a lane. He sends it toward the net. This one will bounce. And now Jake Sanderson will throw this back down deep. He holds the line. He'll loop it around the end boards now. This will be stopped by Tage Thompson, number 72. First time we call his name, the Buffalo Sabres. This is Bo Horvat, has to take a hit. Sent back down to the left side dot. There for Brandon Hagel, but he can't find the puck. The U.S. will loop it back behind their own end and go D-to-D. 8:50 left to go in the first. 1-0 Matthew Boldy and the Team USA. And off a stick lift, nicely back check. Jack Hughes got some work to do as Randy Trocheck has to go to Anita block it. Here's a wrister by Cale that will be deflected and held by Connor Hellebuyck.
That felt like a moment of cue circus music with Cale Makar with Canada possession zone time in that last sequence. Looks like with Matt Boldy and that gorgeous goal to open up this game. Makar tried to tip it towards himself and wrist it from long range. And Connor Hellebuyck has been perfect so far. 6 for 6 past the halfway point in this first.
What do you think it's going to take for Connor Hellebuyck, Alec? I mean, do you think he can afford to give up more than 2 goals in this game?
I feel he has to play at his best game so far. So far, he's been near perfection for the United States in this Olympic tournament run. But here against Canada, any goal that's going to come by for Canada is not going to be easy, but neither it is for the United States. It's going to be earned for and Matt Boldy more than earned his. Canada, of course, they have the superstar talent. They have the offensive firepower. But if Canada does get a power play, I'd imagine that at some point the United States is going to be battle tested. Doesn't matter about that perfect penalty kill. They're going to be battle tested against this ferocious power play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, I said in the prediction towards you for the Hart, as far as United States maybe winning this one 5-3 high scoring. I said 4-2 realistically for Canada. That is what I'm going with the analytical side. As we're getting some of these watch parties here, but I think you're right. In terms of Connor Hellebuyck and Jordan Binnington, we know what we got in the goal crease there. I just happen to think if it's going to be any power plays for Canada, It's got to be 2 or less. United States gives up more than that, they're going to be in some severe trouble.
And do not mind that, unlike in the NHL, fighting in the Olympics is not allowed. That's an automatic game misconduct, which is a bummer.
Oh, so that does explain why we didn't get 3 fights in the first 9 seconds then, gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was almost a year ago to the date when we were all in here for the trio side. I'm hoping that Cooper can join by the time the third period is, but it's still 5:31 for him in Pacific time. But we're all getting up early to watch this one. Wherever you're on the time zone, we thank you. And again, I saw this for the next set of 4 years. It'll be in France. It'll be the same time zone to be familiar with as Connor. This was picked up by Connor McDavid as we now loop toward MacKinnon and flip back down on the ice. Devon Toews with Cale, Makar. A little bit of a TBTO as we stood right here. It's the same lines out there for John Cooper, that top line. As we got no Sidney Crosby, still Macklin, Celebrini. Have to ask Alec what that might mean for the start of the regular season from Wednesday. Nathan MacKinnon on the backhand as Celebrini try to go back to Nathan MacKinnon in the middle of the slot. And this will get knocked away. Loop back down. There's been a lot of that. Canada leads the shot board 7-2. They've had the pace of this game. Theodore from Sanheim. This will be intercepted by the United States. Goes back to Theodore. And now picked up by Bennett toward the right side. Good toe drag on his backhand. It gets taken away by McAvoy, though, off the help. Charlie's got it, the Bees. Now Matthew Tkachuk has to go back into his own end. Settle back down now. Sanderson off the skate of Eichel. This is nicely ahead, though. Drop pass. Tkachuk backdoor. And that pass missed, but the net was open. And this will go the other way now. Colton Parayko. And loop back down deep. 7:10 left to go on the first runner with you alongside Alec Nava and Ian Genge. You got the normal trio here with us. As this is looped in off the glass, Parayko. We'll see this one go to the U.S. Bad giveaway. And this one now to the right side. My goodness. In the middle of the slot. U.S. get it out. Left side, red line. Hopefully we get a replay of that. I want to pick up a number. Who turned it over on the backhand? Werenski now. Pull ball. This will go to Canada on their own end. U.S. got to make a change quickly if they're going to do so, as Canada's got it near the left dot. Be a dispossess. Suzuki lost the puck. As this is sent back down to Zach Werenski of the Columbus Blue Jackets. United States still lead 1-0 here. 6:30 left to go in the opening frame. There's a pass to Clayton Keller. First time we call his name. As this will be sent back in Canada's defensive end. Now they'll work their way to the left side of the neutral zone. And Devon Toews looping here to Connor Hellebuyck. Back pass for Zach Werenski, slowly and behind the end boards, and the U.S. look to get going. Off the breakout pass. Good touch there. Boldy. Watch this one go down deep and off the back pass. Here is JT Miller. Try to go back to the point. This is in behind the net of Binnington. Here's a pass middle of the slot. It is loose. Canada will pick it up. And they'll loop this down back across the ice. United States is there. Seth Jarvis, and on the forecheck, it's the steal. U.S., nice move on the backhand. Gets it out front. Here is Thompson across the middle. And this will get picked off. Jarvis. Get this one ahead, looking for Bo Horvat. U.S. fan on it partially, left side red line, and then dump it in safely. Jordan Binnington stop it between the goal crease as it's the Dallas Stars. Thomas Harley right to the United States. As this is left side dot and then overskated. This will be a chase now. Connor McDavid off a one-on-one. Back pass again. Good, beautiful back check for the United States. Auston Matthews breaks it up in the middle of the slot. This is now loop back to McDavid and out across center ice. Canada try to find it with Nathan MacKinnon off the touch pass. Good combination. They'll slop shot it in behind the inboards now. 4:50 left in the first. Nate Dogg, high slot, wrister. This one will be held by Connor Hellebuyck.
So much happened there in these last few minutes that we lost track of what happened with everything. Well, Matthew Tkachuk almost had that perfect setup pass that could have made it 2-0. And you also have Connor McDavid setting up a good chance for Canada right at the front off that giveaway. A lot of speed, a lot of action here, but it was so close to a 2-0 game and also so close to a tie game at the same time.
Couple good back checks. Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, that is true. that's the other thing that is going to win in the United States this game. On top of Hellebuyck playing his best, his defense has to be smothering. I don't know if they can keep this up the entire game, but actually there is no choice. They have to. They cannot afford to let Connor Hellebuyck be the primary defenseman. These elite defensemen of the NHL, the United States, they need to be, as crass as this is going to be, they need to be like flies on a pile of garbage. If you get my meaning.
I do, Ian, because it certainly looks like they're doing wind sprints back and forth to try to cover the middle of the slot. And you have to. The speed, as you guys said, it's absolutely elite on both sides. One mistake, and it's going to go on the back of your net.
And it almost happened with Brady Tkachuk giving it away directly to Nick Suzuki. But a sign of relief for Connor Hellebuyck, and Suzuki missed.
Thank you for that, because that's what I wanted to pick up. Suzuki was one of the ones that tied it earlier in that game against Czechia in the quarterfinals. When they were behind late against Czechia and Finland, and Canada was able to get back on the forefront to get to the gold medal game. Again, for United States, as far as seeding purposes, they had to play Sweden in that quarterfinal game. And if not for Dylan Larkin, Quinn, Hughes, Connor Hellebuyck, all Michigan men, that could have been a different story. We could have honestly had, gentlemen, a Finland-Sweden final, and that wouldn't have been a surprise, as this is a D-zone loss for Canada. 4:40 left to go in the first, as this is picked up now for Brady Tkachuk. Now to Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel's pass. This will go right to Devon Toews, and he cannot get it out, as this will be a forecheck. Be a sharp angle chance that will be held by Jordan Binnington.
Not a bad idea to try sharp angle. Quinn Hughes has been a presence all over the ice for the United States, dating back to that game against Sweden with that overtime winner. That he has been key to the United States on this Olympic run. And he was sorely missed for 4 nations. It's nice to see him for the Olympics.
You got, what, 8 points there, Alec? 13 shots on goal and a +3. 13 shots on goal in 5 games is staggering for a defenseman, but that's the kind of skill he brings.
Of course. We know all the love that Cale Makar gets. Give some love to Quinn Hughes.
McAvoy, off the potential tip. This goes up the outside of the cage as Auston Matthews. 1-on-2, one-timer. That one missed right toward the left dot. McAvoy sends this one D to D. As we look back around, Matthews trying to win another puck battle. It'd be nice to have him have his best game. Here's a screen out in front. Matthews trying to send a backdoor pass. He was the recipient of that one, but it gets deflected. Hits Binnington's glove first.
Matthews has to be feeling a little disappointed after having 3 great overtime chances in last year's 4 Nations Championship. He wants one badly here to get some revenge.
Oh, that gets tipped out there. You got Pareko, Celebrini out of the mix of it, and I guess they're showing some camera shots there of Jordan Binnington. U.S. did a good job of avoiding any sort of goaltender interference, trying to make a backdoor pass. It's 0 for 2 for the U.S. there, probably 0 for 2 for Canada on attempts, but they've all been dangerous, as this will be gloved down out of the air. Brock Faber will get this one across, and this will be blown dead at 3:50. Shot board reads 8-4 for the Canadians, but Boldy's still got the only goal.
914 save percentage is good for NHL standards. That's what Jordan Binnington has in this Olympic tournament. Connor Hellebuyck having a 947 save percentage. You got to be wondering, how good has he been in this Olympics? He's been otherworldly so far. Adam Frankel, I know she's been the best goalkeeper for the United States on the women's side. 980 is simply ridiculous in comparison.
Yeah, the U.S. goaltending on both sides, I'm glad you gave Aaron Frankel a shout-out, Alec, has been otherworldly, as you mentioned. And for Connor Hellebuyck, you're going to go back with the Winnipeg Jets who have to get on a run. This is the most meaningful game he's going to play probably up until a long stretch at the end of the year, if they can make one. As Slavin, this gets tied up now. McAvoy on the left side red line with Brock Nelson. A couple stick chops there, and this is still put in across the bumper, and it's not loose yet. Connor McDavid now trying to pry it, as Connor McDavid was making his way to the left post, And now in off the tie-up, Macklin Celebrini will watch. U.S. alertly gets it out. I don't know how they did so. As Brock Nelson, what a move. Nelson now is trying to fight it off. There's a stick check. 2:57 left to go in the first. And are we getting a penalty call here?
There we go, Brock. That's a way to draw the first penalty of this game. He got Shea Theodore to draw the hook right on Bennett. So it's going to be a United States power play. These two countries have the two best power play units in the entire Olympics. But where U.S. has the edge is that Canada's penalty kill is not up to par with some of the other elite countries that we've seen. The United States has yet to allow a penalty kill. But what a move from Brock Nelson.
That's a hook right in on the hands, as you call it from Shea Theodore. I had to look that on the live sport box. I have that one updated. Because they don't carry hits, but they carry shots and face-offs and everything else. Again, Alec, Ian, and I will keep you abreast of the situation of what's going on with the full play-by-play. But the U.S. get a power play, and I know it's not often I say this. This might be a must-score for the United States. How many are they going to get? This goes back to Quinn Hughes. Can't give up anything shorthanded. I worry about that. As it's Tage Thompson and off the left. Quinn holds it in. What a pass! Oh, across for Tage Thompson. Trying to pick it up near the right side. Couple dangerous chances for the U.S. on missed passes this period. 4 for 14, about 30%. Quinn send this one back. Nick Suzuki going to take some PK roll. And now to the left side, Auston Matthews. This is way too hard and off the inboards. And the nobody. Tage Thompson have to start it again. Canada's penalty kill at 72%. The United States is at 100 in this tournament. It might need to stay that way. Here's Quinn, left side blue line. Matthew Tkachuk. See if the U.S. can get settled here. Tkachuk now to Matthews across the bumper. Goes to Auston. Left side dot. Quinn, high slot now. He's on his back skate. Quinn Hughes to the left side dot. That's usually where Jack Eichel would be. As Eichel surveys, pass on the front gets blocked. Tage Thompson picks it up. This goes back to Jack. Jack now. Tage, power move to the net. Try to stuff it past Thompson, and this one's not in. It's loose, and this goes back down the ice. Now to Quinn Hughes, cross center. 40 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Shea Theodore in the box for the hook. And this puck goes to Stone. Right across center ice. That's where the U.S. will steal and send this back to Zach Werenski. U.S. trying to make some wholesale changes on the fly for the power play unit. Jake Getzel across the right bumper. And off the drop pass, this is kept in by the United States near the right dot. Getzel throws it into an open area. Left circle, sent to the net. This goes off the outside of Jordan Binnington. Look back around, Jack Hughes. High slot U.S. with puck possession. Here's Jack. Rister. This one deflected. Brady Tkachuk now has the pickup. Cross-ice speed was seen toward Boldy. He opened the scoring. And Theodore beautifully out of the box. This might be some numbers for Canada. They'll chase it. They've iced it. That was close. They tried to break it for Theodore right out of the box, but the U.S. get an ozone draw.
That was some excellent power play maneuvers. And even though we didn't score there was a lot to like about that power play. Auston Matthews set up. Now, Matthew Tkachuk doesn't have a goal, but had that been a little bit more cleaner on that at the feed, not saying that Matthews made a bad pass, but Tkachuk was tied up. That was a perfect angle by Devon Toews to make sure Tkachuk doesn't get his first goal of the entire Olympics.
Yeah, if he doesn't lift that stick there, it goes through the legs of Toews, but that would have easily been a goal to be able to get right in front of Binnington. You're exactly right. Really good defensive plays that we've noticed in this period, and that's why the scoreline's only 1-0. Shot board 8-6. U.S. got a little bit closer back from that, from the attempted power play, but Theodore was able to be killed, and now you wonder if Canada's going to get the next one. We get a whistle here before the JT Miller shot.
A 4-fault start, and I thought Canada had a chance on that rush chance to rule Theodore out of the box. They were a little quicker. That could have been a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2.
That's what we were thinking there during the live call, Alec. I had my heart in my throat. Anytime you get the odd man rushes for Canada. Off the tie-up, Trocheck. Good quick shot again from Miller. Vincent Trocheck, so good on those draws. I know you know that well, Alec, but that was a clean shot there for Miller. Good save for Binnington.
One of the more underrated values of having Team USA having him, Vincent Trocheck with faceoffs and penalty killing. Could we have used Jason Robertson out of box? Most definitely. But does that mean that the United States doesn't have a shot without them? Well, we do still have a shot about them.
Yeah, both of these teams are deep, and it's going to be about the utmost attention to detail as we talk about in Ian profile. JT Miller was getting some of those camera shots. Now he's getting tied up on the right side boards. 35 seconds left to go in the opening frame. Matt Boldy's still the only goal. Some good puck work back and behind Canada. Look to break out. One more shift there for 97. And this will be poked away. United States with McAvoy. Take this one from left to right. Gain the red line and get canceled off as Nathan MacKinnon back checking his own end. Good pickup by the United States across the right side. Here's a drop pass for Matthew Tkachuk. Slap shot. This does not hit Binnington, and that will end the first. Matt Boldy scores the goal. Canada's down 1-0. Shot board 8-7, but all things considered, that was a pretty damn even first set of 20.
It was. The Matthew Boldy goal was so gorgeous. We can see this on repeat for the rest of this first period. It's far from over yet because Canada has known these situations before. The previous 2 wins have been come from behind victories. And it's the adversity that they have been used to. And Paul Bissonnette said earlier today that adversity makes them stronger. Without Sidney Crosby, they're going to have to rally around him. And Crosby in the locker room delivered strong messages in those previous 2 games when he was hurt. I'd imagine he's going to deliver something similar in the locker room for Canada.
What do you think that means for the start of the regular season, considering he's now missed his 3rd straight game, Sidney Crosby, on the hit from Radko Gudas? I would have to think he's not going to be available for the start of the regular season. I don't know that for sure, but you really wouldn't miss this game, you would think, if Sidney was somewhat healthy.
If he was, there was a 70% chance that he was going to play. Canada was doing everything possible to get back into the lineup, frankly enough. But Crosby felt that he wasn't going to be much of a factor, so he pulled himself out of the lineup.
Okay.
So Canada didn't rule him out. Crosby himself pulled himself out of the lineup so as to make sure that he doesn't risk any further injury. And I think he's playing it safe so that he gets ready for the rest of the regular season with the Penguins. I don't think he's going to be back in the lineup on the first game for the Penguins, if that's what Dan Hughes wants to say. But I think it can be later down the stretch should the Penguins keep up this run on the way to the playoffs, locking down a spot in the Metro.
That's a lot to be able to do that. I give a lot of credit to Sidney Crosby. I'm not even just saying this as a USA fan, but between the Red Wings and the battles and winning the cups and all that they've done against us, I respect the hell out of Sidney Crosby. To take yourself out of the lineup, considering the stakes, I imagine cannot be easy. Their first game will be Thursday, coming back from the break against the New Jersey Devils, who have been struggling. So no matter what happens, give me the Penguins to win their first game.
And you know what? I can respect that. Jack Hughes has been important to Team USA, but the Devils are far too out of a playoff position to do anything at this point. So I'd imagine they're going to be sellers at the deadline for that matter. They already traded away Andre Palat to the Islanders.
Yeah.
It was a cap dump, if anything, because of his bloated salary. But Palat's already making an impact on the Islanders on their lineup.
I mean, he almost made the ultimate impact when he was here with him when he scored that go-ahead goal for Czechia, but they couldn't hold it.
Canada would have been angry at Czechia won that game because of a missed too many men on the ice penalty on the last goal. 6 players on the ice at the same time. You got to have better control of your game stress. Come on.
Yeah, you would think so. You got NHL refs all the way across for Gary Bettman, so I was wondering how that call would even happen.
Yes, come on, man.
So as we come back from this NHL break, I just want to talk to you for a moment here, Alec Ian, be able to chime in as well. We're essentially what we're going to do. It's a mad dash, obviously, to the end of the regular season, but we got one more week once it starts back up here on the Wednesday. Pretty much one more week, and then we hit the trade deadline. So really, for any of the teams that got their business done early, when you think about Quinn Hughes to Minnesota, makes a lot of sense. You talk about Andre Palat, but you really don't have a lot of time to try to figure out how you want to add to your team. You're going to have to do it quickly.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what GMs are doing right now, and every other team is right now on the floor, either knees on the ground, hands on the ground, hands together. They are praying that there are no more significant injuries
Right.
in these Olympics. And with that, the GMs right now are, I believe that some of the GMs are calling each other during this break, and when the Olympics is officially over, we will see deals be done. Maybe not the next day, maybe not the day after, but certainly Wednesday. Wednesday, you're gonna see deals made.
What do you think about that, Alec?
I can attest to that. As soon as players come back for the Olympics, we will see trades coming. Because general managers are maybe already speak with one another, but they can't formally agree to any trades because of the roster freeze. But when they come back, that's when the rosters get unfrozen. For that matter, there already have been some extensions made. For example, look at Brandon Bussi, who's been one of the more unexpected success stories to come out of the NHL this season. He's been emerging into Carolina's #1 goaltender for them, as he got himself locked up to a 3-year extension. Good for him, as he's been lights out for the Canes, and I imagine he's going to be the starting goaltender for the Canes in the playoffs. Andrei Svechnikov and Alexander Nikishin, meanwhile, they're enjoying time together. They went to a Hornets game together, and they got front row seats.
I was going to say, for those numbers and alongside Brandon Bussi, I know it's the first deal, so not going to get a lot of it from the first deal, but very friendly contract, and he has been absolutely ridiculous.
Very team friendly, and that is the best possible news for Carolina, so that they have their goaltender established, a crease led by a future of him and Fyodor Kochetkov, because the future is unknown for Freddie Anderson. He was okay for Denmark in the Olympics, but it feels like this move, the extension for Bussi, signals that it's time for a change for a starting goaltender in Carolina.
Right. Just for the reset, they've adjusted the numbers. The shot board is 8 apiece for both teams, and the face-offs are 11-8 United States after the first set of 20. That's Matthew Boldy from Auston Matthews and Quinn Hughes. That's your only goal scored.
So here's an idea, Alec. It's a bit of a bold one, but if you want, because Freddie Anderson is a question mark, the Blues are selling. They're going to be selling whatever they can. What do you think about trading for? What do you think about trading for Jordan Binnington? Just as a second option, a reliable one behind a good team.
If it means to have him as a 1A, 1B, I'd be thinking about this possibility, for that matter, if we were to think about having a true starting goaltender down the future. Because we know the Blues are selling and they're at the bottom of the Western Conference, as for that matter. So it could be a consideration. I just don't know what to expect from Eric Tulsky just yet.
What about you, John? The action plan is finally coming to fruition. Do you think Stevie Y has something up his sleeve, or do you think he'll stand pat?
If anything, and Alec, hopefully you can help me attest to this maybe with a couple names, but Ian brought a good question. I would say Yzerman's going to go ahead maybe with a bottom pairing defenseman. I don't see much more than that. They're still waiting for Simon Edmondson to come back. Hopefully he'll be good by the time they play the Senators on Thursday. That's where I see it, because you can't continue with Travis Hamonic out there, because he's like a -20. They got to get something else in the back end line to help out.
I can understand that. And as for the Penguins, plans can change drastically, because I originally thought it was going to be the Penguins selling. But with the Pens in a playoff spot, I feel it's going to be altered to a soft buy / soft sell, for that matter. I'm not going all in on a one last cup push. It's going to be a soft buy, for that matter.
Do you think they end up holding that spot? And how do you think Stuart Skinner has played since he's been there?
I'm so happy to be wrong about Stuart Skinner. because he has less pressure to perform in Pittsburgh, a team with no expectations as opposed to in Edmonton, where he was expected to be stabilizing the net. But even though he was the goaltender for the Oilers in back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, it's been mostly the play in front of him, with McDavid, Draisaitl, and company that have been carrying the Oilers all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. That's not saying that the depth options haven't been good, but they were serviceable enough to get them to there. Serviceable, well, more than just that, excuse me. But here, for the Penguins, Stuart Skinner has basically established himself as the starting goaltender. Arthur Silas was the good story at the beginning of the year, but this is Skinner's crease now.
Let me ask you this, as far as his other team in the Edmonton Oilers. This was before the break, but it's been a while since we've been able to talk to you, Alec, and hopefully you remember these comments. That Leon Draisaitl comes out, he essentially calls out this whole team and says, well, you know what? We haven't been good enough, but it also tells us, we're not playing good in certain parts of the zone. But Stan Bowman and the rest of these guys, too, need to be able to give us the depth we need in order to win a Stanley Cup championship. That's got to happen. He was talking about his whole team, but he was also talking about everybody up top. Did you agree with Leon Draisaitl?
I had to feel that there's got to be certain moves that need to be made. So certain players could be staring out the door for Edmonton, and I may be looking particularly at Edger Mangiapane, which is unfortunate because he was supposed to be part of that top 6, but it just hasn't happened. He has just 12 points and is a minus 21. Hasn't looked the same ever since he left Calgary for that part. And even in last year against Washington, something felt off about him. He was mostly on the third line and not much else. So Mangiapane could be out the door. I absolutely see Jack Roslovic staying for the Oilers. Vasily Podkolzin, same thing. But something's got to give for the Oilers. It has to happen as soon as the players return for the Olympics.
And then the one last thing for me, because we're just kind of spitballing here a little bit. I didn't have anything planned, but I'm still looking at the NHL standings. And regardless of whether or not they make it, I know Ian's talked about this too. San Jose Sharks at this point, gentlemen, 55 games played on the season. They got 58 points. They are essentially 25 points better, maybe even more than they were last year at this point. Macklin Celebrini is definitely in the Hart conversation. Does San Jose get in? Does San Jose buy at the deadline?
All interesting questions, by the way, which I like San Jose's chances better than the Kings' chances. The Sharks have been proven to be the surprise of the NHL for many different good reasons. For the standings, for how it is, the Sharks are currently 5 points out of a spot to the Ducks, but I think they have better chances than the Kings. I just don't like the way the Kings roster is constructed. The Kings are more of a mid-pack team, and they're looking to play that part. The Sharks, they're for sure a team on the rise, for that matter, and I'd rather be a team on the rise than a mid-pack team.
What do you think of Artemi Panarin?
Ooh, what? I still can't believe the return the Rangers got for the Kings. I mean, how does Chris Drury still have a job at this point? Rangers fans have lost patience with him, and even hockey fans have lost patience with him. Come on.
I was telling John on one of the earlier broadcasts when that subject came up. This is the one time where you want James Dolan to meddle in the way that he used to meddle with the Knicks just once and fire Chris Drury and pretty much get him a shuttle outside. Get him a shuttle out of New York. Because this man, he is bad. He is just bad. His entire tenure, truthfully, can be summed up in 2 moves that he did. The Vinny Trocheck and the Chris Kreider moves.
Yeah. I was going to say, gentlemen, they weren't kidding as far as this being the last event for the closing ceremony. Closing ceremony is 2:30 here locally for us. That means this game's got to get done, and they don't really want OT.
They don't. That's what they're praying they don't have OT. But as a hockey fan, I would love OT. But as a USA fan, I hope we hold on and not have OT.
I said this as far as initial predictions, and I know, Alec, we're only to get on there for a couple minutes. I was glad you joined me for the end of Slovakia, but I think if the U.S. wins this, honestly, they'd have to do so in regulation, and it's got to at least be by a couple goals. Yeah, you only need the one differential to win it, but that's the way I see it. Matt Boldy with an unbelievable effort. Honestly, this game could be 2 goals one way off some cross passes for Canada. It could be 2 goals the other way. The same thing for the United States. The defense has been excellent. But that Matthew Boldy goal was about as good as Megan Keller's goal that won it.
Well, the windmill move from Megan Keller all the way to the net. That was a beauty watching that. Now I have my reserve thoughts for overtime, and I wish they did the full 5-on-5 sudden death overtime for gold medal games. But still, you have to take what you can get.
So he got that confirmation thanks to Alec there. I was going to ask that question: were they going to change it for the gold medal? Nope, we're still going to get 3-on-3. Hopefully that means we don't get any shootouts either. I really don't want to see this game in a shootout. That'd be the last thing I'd want to see.
Oh my goodness. Where's TJ Oshie when we need him?
Yeah, because, I mean, you think about TJ Oshie and having to go about 10 times. I just can't imagine being a goaltender in that situation. I'm not saying I don't like shootouts. I just wouldn't want it to end that way in a gold medal.
No thanks. I'd rather not have it end in a shootout. That would be too much for our hearts to take.
Oh, as we sit, one more question here for me before we probably get back into the second period, but I think this is one that's all on our minds at this point for the defending Stanley Cup champions. Yes, they've been there 3 times and won 2. The Panthers, 29-25-3. They have 61 points. The wild card in the East is really tough to come by. 8 points behind are the Boston Bruins. And if you're looking at that, 11 points behind in the Atlantic. Is that too much for the Florida Panthers to overcome?
Given the state of their current team, this is a consequence of them having to play 3 straight years in the Stanley Cup final. The bodies start to give out. The wear and tear starts to show up. More players start to get injured. You're giving it your all until you can't anymore. This is what the Florida Panthers have been dealing with this season. They are literally just tired, dead tired, and the result speaks for it.
Brady Tkachuk, a little bit mic'd up here as we're going to get set to start the second frame. I appreciate both Alec Nava Ian Genge with the lively intermission conversation for always. If we find some other things that come off the top of our head, please let me know, because we have in the next couple of weeks also the World Baseball Classic after this event. This is the preeminent main line that we've been wanting to cover ever since 4 Nations, and we're hoping for the return of NHL players back to the Olympics at some point. Again, I'm not going to get into all the war conversations, but at some point you think about Team Russia, if they ever come back, because they could have had a hell of a team as well, although they're goaltending, and alongside Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky, getting a little bit long in the tooth, but Vasi has been insane for Tampa this year.
Not to mention about Igor Shesterkin, who won a Vezina Trophy before. That goaltending room would have rivaled Team USA's goaltender room.
We're going to get settled, ladies and gentlemen, here. Jack Eichel right in the middle of the circles. Matt Boldy, the only goal scorer of the first. Milano Cortina, John here with you, alongside Alec Nava and Ian Genge. Final game before the closing ceremonies. Trying to get it done right. This will be looped in. Colton Parayko gets things going. And this will get sent all the way back down the ice. Connor Hellebuyck will play it, so no icing as Mark Stone blows the tire. Eichel find the entry. Flying up the left wing. Eichel, short side chance, gets blocked before it ever hit Jordan Binnington. As will be tied up near the right side boards. Eichel gets the retrieval. Throws it back to the point. Matthew Tkachuk on a Quinn Hughes. Hughes with a bullet of a pass. As this one hit some stick blades, and the U.S. have iced it at 1923.
I almost thought that wasn't an icing, but then I saw it was behind the red line. And yes, it was, for that matter. Close enough. It's a game of inches.
Showing all those missed passes that we profiled from the first, and really only 2 on each side that could have been goals if not for stick lifts and wonderful back check and effort and intensity to cover the slot. You have to. The speed that these teams play with is utterly supreme. And again, I'm saying that even for a Finland team that had all NHLers with the exception of one defenseman, I think they're really good. There was a lot of other nations that were really good. But when the game is played up and down like it is, nobody's better than U.S. and Canada.
Well, all throughout. These two teams have shown that they have all the depth necessary to make it to this championship game, and both of them have earned it. We'll see if this can rival that of 2010. Hopefully this ends the reverse of 2010, John.
Trocheck wins another draw. Wilson then took his change on the fly. And we get another stoppage here at 1914, a couple icings, not even the first minute expired. Again, the coaching staff for Team Canada, I went over this a little bit with Ian, but you got John Cooper, Pete DeBoer, Bruce Cassidy, and Rick Tocchet. I don't know how you get much better than that.
Well, when you have a coaching staff like that, you're expected to be one of the best countries in Olympic play in hockey. That can be rivaled with the United States. Mike Sullivan and John Tortorella on the bench. These two have known each other before.
Here's an opportunity now. Sanderson will gain the red line. Binnington give it a courtesy stop from behind the net. No shots really to tell you about in this second so far. The only goal from that Boldy that was 6 minutes in off of a beautiful individual effort. Got around the stick check of Devon Toews and then get a 5-hole past Binnington. Nate Dogg sends this one across, and that was fought off by Hellebuyck, but he gave up a huge rebound in behind the net. It's now Benny Trocheck, his pass, a very good one. Will give Canada puck possession. Brock Nelson with a soft forecheck. He'll take a change for Mike Sullivan's squad. As this is sent back in behind the end boards. Connor McDavid now wearing the C because no Crosby for a third straight game. Jaccob Slavin off the rush. Carolina Hurricanes. Slavin, this one way wide. As this is on the right side, picked up now for Auston Matthews. So we'll loop it back in behind the end boards now. Sanderson will activate into the forecheck. Sent back to the point for the Americans. It is Sanderson with a ripper of a wrist shot. That one's fought off by Binnington. This goes all the way back down to Connor Hellebuyck. Have to play this one quickly. Brad Marchand already out there on the forecheck. Good breakout pass ahead. Here's Dylan Larkin. Here's a feed out to Jake Getzel. Work back around trying to look for number 21 of the Red Wings. Number 71 is his normal number. Sent back around for Getzel now. Across the right bumper. Turnaround chance gets deflected. Colton Parayko have to brush it back to the USD zone. That's where Connor Hellebuyck is. So he'll make the play. Opportunity for Charlie McAvoy. Push this one up ice. Jack Hughes. And alongside with Larkin. Larkin had some good work on the power play alongside with Tage Thompson if the U.S. get another one on the second unit. Shot board now 9-9. Canada still looking for the tying goal and Seth Jarvis. This one intercepted. Play at the net for Hagel. Excellent work to fight off some contact. U.S. is there. A sweep check doesn't work. This is sent toward the back door. Picked up now to the left side blue line. Cross ice feed. Knocked away for the United States and put out the center ice. This will be settled back down. Toews will get this one. Push it out from Cale Makar. High slot now. Canada back pass for Hagel. He gets stick lifted at the last moment, and the U.S. get it out. Here's Brady Tkachuk. He looked for his brother Matthew. Matthew now will go ahead and try to finish his hit. Goes back around now for Cale. Cale's pass right up the gut. It's Seth Jarvis. Look out for him as he's got it on the right side. Red line centering feed. Hellebuyck fights it off, and Auston Matthews, good 200-foot play as it's Boldy on the 1-on-3. He goes for another chip and chase. This time gets denied by Devon Toews, and he'll finish a hit now. Outstretched pass. This one gets knocked away, and Canada will find an entry now under the left side red line, content to dump it in, and off the turnaround. Here is Sanderson. Let's play a back pass. Good Canada forecheck here. They'll get possession out of this. On the left side, high slot now. Wrister deflected. This one first fought off by Hellebuyck, but it's still loose. Now Connor McDavid changes on the fly. His pass easily read by Boldy. He's had such a good game. And Matthews will curl it into the defensive zone of Canada. Will take a change. Picked up now. Marner. Look at this from Stone. He looked for a deflection. Eichel covers the back door. Eichel try to throw to the right side point. Heavy hit. Knocks the puck loose. Slap shot. Canada pressure looks very good so far in this first 5 minutes of the second. Marner with a turn pass. This one wide to the left. And the body contact, no call. U.S. desperate to get it out of their own zone now. Canada really pressing here. This is on the right side. Marchand steals. Wrister. Hellebuyck gets it with the glove. It was loose. Picked up now by Jack Eichel. And this will be looped back down across center ice. But here comes Canada again. Olsen, right side boards. Wrister again, fought off by the United States. And this will get out. Here's Matt Boldy. Left side red line sends it in. He needs to get off the ice. He'll do so. Canada had 4 shots on goal there and all sorts of pressure. Cale Makar, blistering speed, gets the entry now. He's still with it from end to end. He works in behind the net. Back pass and alongside for Suzuki. Cale tried to send it off the back of the cage. As this is Bo Horvat. Horvat now gets through some hits. Sam Reinhart look for a sharp angle chance. Hellebuyck fights it off. And this will be looped down the ice. Not far enough for icing. Crowd's getting very loud here. The Canadians like it. Toews off the steal. And that was saved. Dylan Larkin with a shot. That was saved by Binnington. Put up the gut now. Jarvis on the right side wing. He's way off the screen. High slot. This one is wristed wide. Jarvis loops it back around down deep. Charlie McAvoy now got some work to do with Brock Nelson. This is all action here. Wrister through the traffic. This will be a stick that falls down. Looks like Boldy is already out there again. Lost his stick. One touch pass. This one's saved. Horvat now across the wall. It's MacKinnon. High slot. MacKinnon avoids the stick. He's got it now in the middle of the circles, and that broken stick got in the way. That will allow the United States to get this one across center ice, but Canada now will back up a little bit. Allow the United States to make a change. The stick's still there, though, so that could work out for the United States. As they got across the left side bumper, MacKinnon look for McDavid. U.S. pick it off. Settle back down now for Auston Matthews. They can hear the voice register kind of calm down a little bit after that. As Colton Parayko. Now for McDavid. Celebrini cross pass is deflected across the right side of the cage. And now picked up on the back pass. Here is United States. Excellent work to get out of their own end. Slap shot behind the inboards. Binnington will stop it. There's a chance for Larkin, too hard off his skates. He gets the recollect. Here's a shot for Tage Thompson. Big save, Binnington. He will hold, and we can all take a breath.
That was about as good of a shift there as it ever was. 4 shots on goal in that entire sequence. They operated like it was a power play. Like all these sorts of stick moves around through the net. They're just tiring out the United States at every turn to the point where there was a broken stick on the ice from Matt Boldy. Connor Hellebuyck has to exhale right now from all the mistakes that he has to make. Canada's showing that they're a second period team, and they're showing it in full force.
You said it about Connor Hellebuyck, and we can repeat it, gentlemen. That's the best he's looked in this game so far. Remember, the best he's looked so far throughout the whole tournament. I'm saying that with a guy that had a 940 save percentage. I mean, he made 3 pretty good saves with the glove. There was pressure all around him. United States trying to get it out, and they were able to survive. That was pretty spectacular for Canada.
You got anything?
Sorry, they're showing Johnny Gaudreau, and they have a 13 jersey hanging in there.
It's the same way it was at the Worlds. You had a lot of that stuff in Four Nation. You know he should still be here at this point. Zach Werenski, good friends with them. They showed Meredith and Guy and everyone else. We saw that from the Czechia side, or from Slovakia side as well. It'd be wonderful for the United States to win and get the gold medal. And you hear the stuff with the nation's anthem and all that too, because you know they might do something special on the ice with his jersey.
For sure. That should the United States win the gold medal, I think his jersey is going to be displayed on the podium.
Yeah, that's what I think too. And that would be a very special, goosebumps-raising moment. Again, we just had one in this game that Connor Hellebuyck was electric off of the Canada attack. That was the first one we've seen of real significance against the United States where they looked like they were about to be submerged. That tells you how good Canada is. Again, between the trio of us in the party, we already know that. But when you're seeing that against a team like the United States defense, it really gives you pause. You know how good Canada is. They got the best forward group in the world, and their defensive group's not that bad either. As this is picked up now, Quinn Hughes and Charlie McAvoy might be enough to be the difference. As this will be recollected right up across center ice. Here is Jack Hughes, and he gets dispossessed off the stick lift. And off the one-on-one, no penalty call. And United States here with Dylan Larkin. He gets knocked down trying to make a play. U.S. keep it alive. Thompson throws it back in the high slot. Here's Quinn Hughes on his forehand. Mr. Binnington hits it with the right pad. Here's a steal. Good work for Jack. Across the left side dot. Jack Hughes back in behind from Dylan Larkin. Off the outside of the cage, Thompson was rushing in, and Binnington said no with the stick. It is 11:55 left to go in the second. Shot for 13-12, and there is nothing between these two teams right now, at the exception of the last 4 minutes that we saw with that Canada rush. Pass up the ice. Charlie McAvoy finally makes it. Another stick is in the way as Binnington with a pass all the way down. He will give it to the United States. And Jaccob Slavin with a rocket. There's this one for Werenski. This will be soft clear into the zone from Brady Tkachuk. Matthews out there trying to finish a hit on his teammate Sam Bennett. They're going to be playing together in a few more days. Matthew Tkachuk off the slow retrieval. This goes back to his brother Brady across the right side red line. Back into the point now. Good touch pass. Slavin will send this one across for Faber. Here is Brady Tkachuk taken down to a knee. He's getting worked over with a couple of stick chops. Slavin on the left side point will work as U.S. try to make some changes on the fly from Mike Sullivan's squad. We're almost halfway through regulation, still 1-0, courtesy of Matt Boldy 6 minutes in. You got 10:50 left of the second. Slavin sends it on. Breakout pass. Here's a breakaway. And this is saved by Connor Hellebuyck against McDavid. As this goes now to Sanheim. That was one of the big calls. Connor Hellebuyck comes up large. And now the U.S. fighting for puck possession. And I think Canada's getting a penalty.
Oh, come on, Jake. Are you kidding me? Hey, don't get me wrong. That's an excellent save by Connor Hellebuyck on the breakaway from McDavid. That was great individual speed. And Jake Gensel is testing this United States penalty code. This is going to be the biggest test for USA's PK up against our Canada power play that's looked like a god squad with the big Macklin plus Makar and Reinhart.
I'm looking on this for Brock Faber as Jake Getzel goes to the box. Thank you for the clarification. They could have called the hook on Brock Faber because he got Connor McDavid right in on the hands. And then I agree with you there. I like the former Penguin and Jake Getzel a lot. That's not a good hook and hold there.
No, it's not. There could have been a lot of calls that could have been called there. But
yeah.
Canada's power play, oh my goodness, this is close to 50%.
Nathan MacKinnon now with McDavid and Celebrini has been electric. Yes, I know no Crosby, but Celebrini has fit right in. I'm expecting Canada to tie it up here as this is sent back down. I don't want to call it into existence, but we're all thinking it. 7 of 16, 43.7%. As Cale Makar will take this one up the ice. Dangerous, does it himself. Cale Makar can't take him off the puck, and it's another penalty against the U.S. Look out now, 5-on-3 coming.
You can't really contain Cale Makar. You can't shut him down either. You can only hope to
end to end. End to end.
Yes, it was Charlie McAvoy who got his stick right onto Makar and hooked it between the legs. And that's what slowed Makar down, preventing him as clean chance off the rush. It wasn't a stick lift. Of the speed that Makar possesses, that's pretty much the only way to slow him down.
So what do you do here if you're Mike Sullivan? Who do you trust as far as winning some draws? And I'm going to say this honestly. and not even just as a diehard Red Wings fan, there was a time where Dylan Larkin was 25 out of 30 on draws. Maybe start him on this kill. 5-on-3, I'm not expecting the U.S. to get away unblemished here. They're 100%. This might be tough. It's 133 left of 5-on-3, and the U.S. do win this. This is sent back down the ice to Jordan Binnington. That will at least kill some time, but what is to come? That is the question. If the U.S. kill this, that would be ridiculous. It's Connor McDavid. Now to the left side, Celebrini. It is now Nate Dogg, number 29. Now to Devon Toews, Ripper from Cale Makar, that got set up, and Cale's going to go back. Slap shot missed it all. 1 minute left to go, and a two-man advantage for Canada. Connor McDavid attempts up the gut. The U.S. kiss it off the glass. Jordan Binnington out of Cale Makar makes the play off the back pass. Canada looking for entry in the O zone. Cale Makar stops right at the line. He gets it back from MacKinnon. Cale Makar, high slot. Connor McDavid, left side dot, touch pass. Here from Macklin, Celebrini. McDavid's got to shoot it, does not. Celebrini, and this one gets sent back down. Why didn't Connor McDavid shoot near that left circle? Here's McDavid now. He can make it all right here. McDavid off the drop pass and the high slot. Here is chance for Canada on the right side for Celebrini. High slot now. Here's McDavid in tight. All sorts of possession. Theodore gets robbed by Connor Hellebuyck, and then the play is blown dead with 8 seconds. This is unbelievable right now. Good start for U.S. on this kill.
Canada's looking too much for the perfect play
Yes.
on the 5-on-3. They're just waiting patiently with this puck, hoping that it opens up. You got to take your chances when you can make them.
I got Connor McDavid in the middle of the slot. I'm not hesitating anything. Yes, I know 2 goals, 11 assists. I'm shooting that puck all day long, Mr. Nava.
Yes, indeed. You have to shoot. Shooters shoot. And you have to take your chances. McDavid definitely should. He had a wide open chance there.
Dylan Larkin going to try to win another D-zone draw for U.S. He's been so good here, and I hope that he can do it. I can speak that into existence. Jake Sanderson on that same group right now. I don't know who the other backline D is for the U.S. just yet. Try to take this one. And off the tie-up, somebody lost his stick. That was Stone. Backdoor pass misses. And 2 seconds away from killing a 5-on-3. Now 25 seconds and a 5-on-4. Here's Marner off the weight out. Marchand off the side of the net. And the U.S. clear it down. 15 seconds left to go in Canada's 5-on-4. This is Mitchell Marner. 10 seconds left to go, the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll dump it into an open area, and they did not gain the line on their own power play. They've iced it. U.S. is going to get out of this.
Oh, my goodness. The United States is really about to kill a 5-on-3. This is huge for the United States. USA has shown that they've been the best defensive team throughout this tournament, and this penalty kill ensures that. With
Oh, my God.
Defensive play, we know your best penalty killer is your goaltender, but the defense of Larkin, Slavin, that's been important too.
Yes.
You know, I want to say this surprises me, but considering you have 2 of the best collection of talent from the NHL on the ice, it really doesn't surprise me that the United States could kill a 5-on-3 penalty and come out of the team.
I'm going to wonder here, we can say this at the second intermission, if the scoreline holds, does the U.S. have enough offense? And I'm not saying to win the game, but I'd like to see them be up by a pair of goals, because you know Canada is going to get at least one, and maybe even late. They don't score there in a 5-on-3 power play. Marner tried to bring this one up the gut. Shot goes wide and up and out of play. Now the United States regular personnel can get back on the ice.
Exhale, guys. We got this.
5-on-3, and I said 100% during the live call. I thought Canada was getting one. I wonder how many were on my side there, and glad they didn't, but I just don't know how you don't concede there, but I keep going back to it in my mind. And Connor McDavid's going to have so many more, but he got denied on a breakaway. I think that was a little bit of a hook there for Brock Faber, if we're being honest, but he gets denied on a breakaway, and then he doesn't shoot in the middle of the slot. Connor McDavid's had his chances in this period.
Plenty of them, including that breakaway, and a lot more on that 5-on-3. And you said you should have absolutely shot that puck on that 5-on-3. Like, how do you pass up on that chance?
Connor Hellebuyck now getting some of his save highlight reel. He's been good in traffic. I think the U.S. defense has been good in front of him. Both things can be true. Jordan Binnington hasn't been worked as hard, but Matthew Boldy's goal that was outrageous in the first 6 minutes has been enough to hold. I'm just going to mark a couple things in my notes.
Did you know of Hellebuyck being 17 of 17 so far in this game? And the Golden Girls, the U.S. women's hockey team, they're loving it here. Hillary Knight's going to be one of the flag bearers in the closing ceremony for the United States. I hope that one of the U.S. men's players joins along with them. Whoever wins MVP of this tournament for the United States, should we close it out, hopefully they're one of the flag bearers too.
I'm going to say this right now. If this game ends up being 2-1 or something like that, my MVP is Connor Hellebuyck.
With you there, John.
This will be the biggest one of his life. We know the Hart trophies. You know you want to get a Stanley Cup at some point, but Connor Hellebuyck needs to be the spearhead for this team. You know we have a good rotation with Ottinger and Swayman, but Hellebuck's been the guy. McAvoy, we're back underneath play here as Auston Matthews. This shot gets deflected, and now I'd like to see this play go the other way because, in all honesty, I think Canada has had the better of this second period as they've iced it. Oh, and McAvoy has to go flying to avoid Tom Wilson. Hopefully he pops back up.
They're both all right. They'll get back up at this point.
Oh.
But, oh my goodness, that looks very scary between McAvoy and Wilson. That looked close to a car crash at the back end for us. Good thing they're okay.
You whisper hybrid icing to try to negate some of those collisions, and we got one.
The irony.
Connor Hellebuyck, the Commerce, Michigan Township native. That's only about 15 minutes away from where I am right now. 6'4", 207, age 32. Again, as he gets some time, this faceoff is won by the U.S. and out for the neutral zone. 7:25 left to go in the second. As Binnington got to get back in the goal crease. It's picked off by Matthew Tkachuk. He tried to hand-eye it out of the air. And this will be Parayko now to Bennett. Push this one up the ice. And Hagel. And off the Tampa Bay Lightning now for Matthew Tkachuk. Jake Getzel. Getzel now will push this one ahead for Auston Matthews off the chip and chase. Not going to be able to get there. Travis Sanheim will beat it out. And this will roll across the left side line to Jaccob Slavin. Slavin now will get it back from right to left. United States in the white jerseys with the blue pants and red striping. Canada with the red and the leaf and the black pants. High slot, deflected a couple times. Good shot blocks there. Definitely bit one of the Canadian players. Let's look back around to Brady. He'll finish some soft contact. Matthew holds it in. The right side below line. Binnington one more time out to stop it. Shot board is 17-14 in favor of Canada. And this one into the neutral zone back to Brock Faber from the Minnesota Wild. Looped in across the left side red line. Binnington now back in at the point. Off the long flip. This is where Jake Sanderson is. Some changes on the fly for John Cooper's squad. Sanderson, take it from right to left. United States have iced it at 6:05.
Did not gain the line. Man, what a scene here we're having at Milan and all throughout. USA, Canada, for all of the marbles. This was the most anticipated rematch that we have been hyping up, and I'm so happy we got this rematch.
Macklin Celebrini, 5 goals, 5 assists. How do you think his Olympics have been going? Because I think he's got to be an A+.
A+ for sure. Team leader in goals and being top 3 in points, that's got to be an A+ Olympics for Celebrini.
4 shots on goal in this game for the 19-year-old. The only other thing that was more of a surprise was Yuri Slafkovsky, when he was 17 in Beijing, as the shot was fought off by Hellebuyck. Now for Marner, off the back pass. Started with ozone position here for Canada. Look back around. This is off a backdoor feed that gets knocked away. Now on the high slot touch pass from Cale Makar. It is Toews near the back post, and the U.S. out of sorts here. Here's a back pass. Another one goes wide for Toews, jamming away in behind the net now. Sanderson trying to get it out. Canada looks very dangerous. Toews still out there, at least all the way up front of Connor Hellebuyck, and then at least sticked away by Zach Werenski, thankfully, 5:20 left to go in the second, but the better of pressure has belonged to Canada. You get a wide open entry across the left wing off the rush, and this one up. And a late hit as one of the U.S. goes down. Nick Suzuki delivered it. We didn't get a number on the U.S. player.
Well, me neither, but Canada showed they can play up to any style of play. It doesn't matter if it's the hard physical style of the United States or a style that is more free-flowing east-west. Canada is a hybrid style that can go both east-west and north-south. They can deploy any specific line that's east-west, any specific line that's north-south, and both times it's worked for Canada because of the top-end talent and the superstars.
Is this only a matter of time, Alec, from what we're seeing, to be a foreshadowing of things to come for Canada? Because their pressure has been very strong, if not for a couple backline saves for the U.S. defense, but especially in this period. Now I can say it, Connor Hellebuyck, he has had his best game.
I feel both goaltenders are the reason why it's a low-scoring game right now. In due time, we're going to see another goal. Both goaltenders are going to make them earn it.
The question is whether it'll be 2-0 or 1-1. That's what's on our mind right now. Again, I'm just trying to be as neutral as possible on this call, but I'm telling you which way it's leaning. Quinn Hughes, so good to have him back. Again, he wasn't available in Four Nations. 12:50 of ice time. Cale Makar, 12:28. If Cale Makar is the best in the world, I would say Quinn Hughes is probably numero dos.
And that's what makes this impact so much more different for the United States here in the Olympics as opposed to Four Nations. It's its presence that's gotten the United States over to where they are right now, knocking on Canada's doorstep. Because Bill Garrett in the front office feels like they're just one player away, and that's why they feel like they're running it back.
So after a few replays, I think the U.S. player that got hit late was, I think I saw the number 25. Who's 25?
McAvoy.
Charlie McAvoy. Thank you for that, Ian. 5 minutes left to go in the second. Colton Parayko, clapper with a screen in front, was saved by Connor Hellebuyck.
And so far, Hellebuyck has shown 22 of 22 so far that he's the games MVP each so far. He's the front runner at the very least, with all these low goal hands holding up. USA, with the strong defense, has made his life much easier.
That's what you have to have. Here is another face-off win for Canada. Parayko sends it across. This one blocker before it ever hit Connor. Sent back in behind the inboards now for McDavid, number 97. Gets this one back to the point. Now to Colton Parayko. He's had a lot of puck opportunity in this sequence. Macklin, Celebrini, backdoor. He'll get it back. This is off the tie-up and out. He was close to scoring there, if not for a couple of stick blades late from the U.S. defense. That has been the story. 4:30 left in the second. Joining with you alongside Alec Nava Ian Genge. Gold medal game in between Canada and USA before the closing ceremonies later today. Travis Sanheim. Now for Doughty. Long outstretched pass. Hits Hellebuyck, so no ice. Sent back around the end boards. Another big hit delivered. It's Quinn Hughes behind his own net. Quinn to Jack. Push this one ahead for Dylan Larkin. Come on, number 21. Larkin, send this across the right sideline. He gets tied up. This is picked up now by Larkin for a moment. He's in a battle with Wilson. U.S. gets possession. It's Tage Thompson trying to work him off the puck. Kind of wonder how that hand is feeling or whatever was injured from that cross check. Doughty's feed contested. Tom Wilson picks it up off the back skate and sends it in. Still 1-0. The goal 6 minutes in from Matt Boldy of the first has held up. Shotboard getting slanted 23-15 for Canada. Their second period's been good. They haven't scored yet, though. Stopping at the line. McDavid on his back skate. He receives it. What a play. Cale Makar blocked again by the U.S. defense. That was Slavin who got bit. Here is McDavid cross ice. Out of Devon Toews. McDavid. Toews high slot. Settle back down for Cale. Cale. And that same bumper leaves to McDavid. Left dot, circles behind the net. Setting it up. A short side save by Hellebuyck. And another good one. And Larkin now finishing some hits. Tkachuk throwing punches. That is Matthew Tkachuk on Marner. And someone else who was down.
I know it's not a lot in the Olympics, but
That was Makar getting some uppercuts to his dome.
And a good sticking away from Quinn Hughes so that Celebrini doesn't get a clean look. That was missing from last year. The impact that Quinn Hughes has. We were profiling him earlier, and that's the difference that he's made. The good sticking away on Celebrini and Cale Makar. If he's number one, he made a good shot. Could have aimed that one top corner, but nonetheless, it was a smart pass from McDavid to Makar. Could have fired a lot higher, but still, smart shot.
Yes, it was, and I like that there. McAvoy, as you talk about the stick check, might have saved it there. Makar, short side chance, he goes after Connor Hellebuyck for that rebound, and then Matthews says, Larkin comes over there, and then Brady gives Makar some shots as well. So the boys trying to keep their goaltender free and clean here, 308. Got to win a draw. Can't do it, though. D-zone draw. Back to the point. As this was sent back in, Charlie McAvoy already back out there. And this will be looped back down. Cale Makar, 18 shifts, 13:30 of ice time thereabouts. As this is contested across center ice. Macklin Celebrini, throw it to the point. Sam Reinhart on the look. He's open across the right wing, but Quinn Hughes in the middle of the slot. We'll go to the back pass just in case it's needed. And the U.S. look to break out. Brock Nelson, he will get an icing against the United States. Too far there, 2:37 left at the middle frame.
It would not surprise me if John Cooper decides to double shift the Big Mac like McDavid, MacKinnon, and Celebrini altogether. As McDavid is out there now, but I'm not surprised that McDavid's being double shifted on different lines.
Just for the end of this period, Alec, really to talk about with 2:37, I agree.
Yeah, so long as Canada's trailing at that point.
Okay, so we're talking even trailing into the third as well. I was trying to be in lockstep with you because I agree toward this portion of it probably makes sense, but you're right. As we push more toward this 1-0 deficit, you're going to see 97 out there more, even with the depth that Canada has. Bo Horvat off the tie-up. U.S. will win it and get this one out. Charlie McAvoy sends this one down deep. I did not expect just a 1-0 here at this point. I would be lying to you if I said I did, as this is chipped in off the glass, but that 5-on-3 kill that the U.S. had that has stood looming to be one of the tallest things, if not for Boldy's goal. Hellebuyck back in behind the inboards to Jake Sanderson, left off the glass, and this will go back down deep. Quinn Hughes has it. Long outstretched pass. This is intercepted across the neutral zone. Canada content to flip it in, trying to attack quickly off the change. The U.S. will at least watch this one go to center ice. But it's rolling end over end, and it'll be another icing against the United States. That is their fifth, I think, of the period.
In the all-time head-to-head series in Olympic play, Canada is 4-1 against the United States, 2-0 in gold medals. USA hoping it is going to be third time's a charm here.
5-2, 3-2, that 2010 one. I know it's Sidney Crosby, but that one still burns when he scored on Ryan Miller. But he's not on the ice this time around. He definitely would have been one of the best top-line players still in the world. Another face-off win. Cale Makar scores! We're tied as he shoots it inside the right dot.
I jinxed it, didn't I? I mean, we were talking about third time's a charm. Cale Makar said, not so
For
fast.
him, it was.
I mean, last time around, we saw him receive a perfect feed from Connor McDavid, and he was shooting far side. He did aim far side again. This time, he slid it right underneath the blocker of Connor Hellebuyck, and that is the equalizer here. We know what Canada is capable of. A 1-0 lead isn't safe against Canada.
What a shot. Cale Makar has had a tremendous period. Just under, I think, the left arm of Connor Hellebuyck as he snipes it inside the dot. This is what needed to happen for Canada. They've played a strong second period. They've pushed the United States around. It's going to be up for the United States now to answer in this third. See if it stays 1-1. Makar from Toews. The Avalanche boys get it done. And we get a whistle for some reason with 90 seconds left to go.
And it was a failed clear by the United States. USA tried to get this puck out of the defensive zone, but a good hold by Devon kept the puck inside the blue line, and that's what set up the goal.
Thank you for that, Alec, as I'm typing this one in. Again, my story is going to come late because I got plans a little bit later tonight, but we will get some words on it. The Canada watch party They are excited after that. I'm feeling a little bit more nervous now, but again, just 1-1, considering what could have happened in this period. I think the U.S. would take it.
Oh, for sure. If it's a 1-1 game, it's better than having to deal with Canada taking a multi-goal lead with the chances they're getting.
Yeah, that's what I thought we would have seen so far, because Connor Hellebuyck until then has been completely unblemished. That's the only reason why this game, with the U.S. defense a little bit too, is 1-1. So now they got to find an answer in the United States. Another wrister deflected, trying to find McDavid near the back door. This will be sent toward the net. U.S. will get it out. Still Larkin out there. 1:10 left in the first, flip pass for Nelson. Nelson now. And around the inboards now as Canada fans start to cheer, getting louder here since that goal. Larkin back in from the point. This is too hard. And this will go back to the U.S. defense with 60 seconds left to go in this middle frame. It's now a 1-1 game. That Boldy with an unbelievable individual effort. 6 minutes in, Cale Makar, the final 2 minutes, snipes from the left dot. U.S. on a bad change. There's MacKinnon. Find the entry in the high slot. Oh, I thought that almost went in. That was tipped near the right post, but the U.S. survives. And now Tkachuk will throw this the other way. Here's a drop pass. Tkachuk, back door, and that one denied in front of Binnington before it ever hit him. That back post was open. Starting out for Quinn Hughes. Rides the line beautifully. He gets it sticked away. Got to pass it down deep. It is Eichel, wrister on. And this one hit the post, Alec. 10 seconds left to go in the third. It was high, and it got tipped down, but it hit the post. Goes the other way. 5 seconds left to go, and we get a whistle. But I believe that did hit the left crossbar against Binnington.
I am so dumbfounded, John. How did that puck not cross the
Oh, my God.
It looked like it was a wide open net.
Double post.
Double post, too. Right post, top crossbar at the left corner and stayed out. Oh, my goodness. Bill Kessel, 2016 final, Game 5.
Double post against Binnington from a shot that was at the right side of the blue line. Had Binnington dead to rights, and he gets bailed out. 5.2 left to go in the neutral zone draw. This is contested by the U.S., and that ends the second frame. Cale Makar scores. Now we get a meeting near the benches. Sam Bennett trying to throw something on McAvoy. They got him in a headlock. Don't go anywhere yet. I think this is just the tensions that we're expecting, but it is 1-1 after 40.
Well, you have Tom Wilson, Sam Bennett, and the Tkachuk brothers out onto the ice. Don't expect this to not have any fisticuffs going here, because with Wilson, Bennett, and what I call the U.S. hockey version of the Bass brothers out there, the Tkachuk brothers. So when you're out there on the ice, it's a lot of fisticuffs, beating back and forth with all the action. Just it's not over yet until these guys have the final say and things. But with the Olympic rules and not allowing fighting, I think if the Olympic Committee is doing us a disservice in not allowing fighting for this game. At least let them drop the gloves, at least for a moment.
Yeah, at least for this game, I agree with you. It'd be a complete disservice to not see it, but that's what we got. This game has been about as good as it gets. That was a really good answer for Canada in that second frame. I don't know what Mike Sullivan's going to have to say, or whether you talk about any other movies, Herb Brooks, anything you want to use, but you're going to need some motivational tactics in the third, because that second period did look a little bit slanted. If that puck goes in, though, and not hitting double post, and the U.S. takes a 2-1 lead, then I think my narrative goes away. But that was a good set of 20 at the latest for Canada.
Unbelievable, that double post. Man.
And he had Jake Getzel right there and off the camera shot, too. If that even bounces off of him, he could have thrown it into an open net as well. But as it is, it's Cale Makar from Devon Toews. Both of the Avalanche boys gets it done, and we sit 1-1 after 40. Gentlemen, let me ask you this. Is this the scoreline that you expected so far? We probably expected to be tied or within one, but I'm surprised we've only had one goal apiece.
You know, I felt like after two, you would think it would be 2-2, and that would be more of a scoreless third. That's what we saw from Four Nations last year. I was expecting more of that we have the offense showing out the first two periods, and then goaltending takes center stage in the third period. And it's going to be decided. I feel that at this point, the next goal is going to win. I'm almost certain of that. At this point, it's next goal wins.
What do you say, Ian? We'll pause this recording for a moment.
I agree with Alec there. That next goal wins, and if I'm the U.S., just keep firing at the net. Just fire.
Face-offs now, let me give this before I get to the big numbers. This kind of alludes to what I was talking about. Face-offs are 20-19 for Canada in totality. I'm going to see if we can get you those actual numbers. I think that was about as even as 10-9. But the shots that period, gentlemen, were 20-8 for Canada in that second frame. So that's the first time we've seen the United States have to play on their heels a little bit. Canada was pressing. I thought Connor Hellebuyck played probably one of his best periods of his career. He kept the United States in it. They killed the 5-on-3. U.S. penalty kill has been solid. We talked about some of those strong stick checks from the first. They're going to need more of that. But as Ian said, and I agree with Alec as well, you got to get more shots on net. You got to find a way to press the other way. I don't give an F who the hero is going to be. You just got to get this more in the offensive end. If you have another period like that, Canada's going to get gold.
You have to help Hellebuyck out, get more good chances into the offensive zone, generate something for your team. You need to have more offense generated here throughout. You cannot have a period like that offensively again. Otherwise, Canada is going to get the goal here. Hellebuyck has been outstanding in the second period. At least help him out because Canada is showing the offensive prowess. United States, they do have offensive prowess at their home. It's got to be shown on display. Got to show it. And I'm not talking to the level that Gavin McKinnon showed against Ohio State.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me? 8 points? I haven't heard of 8.9 since Sam Genge in 2012.
Yeah, then he was doing the Conor McGregor celebration. I saw a little bit of that the other night, 8-point night. Talk about any of the other tumultuous before that. I won't bring it up. We all saw the news stories. I wasn't really worried about Gavin McKenna, but when you get an 8-point night like that, Alec, I think that automatically solidifies him back as a numero uno draft pick in this entry draft.
Yes, it does. If I were to discuss between him and Igor Stenberg, I feel McKenna has just solidified himself as the number one. Penn State's in good hands if they're number one prospect. He's the most exciting man in college hockey right now. Look at the shot board in the second period. Canada outshot the United States 19-8 in the middle 20. And when you're outshooting your opponents 19-8 in the second period, at least you're going to get at least one goal out of that, and it did get a goal.
Yeah, and it wasn't 5-on-3. It was even strength Cale Makar with a beautiful shot. I mean, really the only set of space that you could shoot it past, Connor Hellebuyck. I don't know if you guys saw that goal that Tage Thompson scored in the first period of that game against Slovakia. That's kind of like aiming a Cheerio into that side of the spot, but that's what Cale Makar did, and that's what Tage Thompson did. That power play goal he had against Slovakia was ridiculous.
It was. I'm proud of Slovakia, by the way. Even though they came up short in the bronze medal game, they played well above their weight and matched the intensity that countries like Finland, Sweden, those countries provided. But it was clear and evident that by the medal round, they just ran out of gas.
Yeah, they did. Again, you don't have as much depth, but you got Slavkovsky and Dvorsky on the same team, two of the youngest players, and alongside for Slovakia. And again, that's not to mention when Yuri Slavkovsky played there as a 16 or 17-year-old last time around in Beijing. But Yuri Slavkovsky as well, number 20 for the Olympic side for the Montreal Canadiens. I thought he was one of the best players in the entire tournament. He looked like a monster, Alec.
He did, and he showed that for Slovakia. He showed that he can elevate the team around him playing on the international stage. We've seen this with certain players playing for their countries, like Nick Ehlers with Denmark. That's the same applying true for Slavkovsky in Slovakia. David Pastrnak with Czechia.
You think with Kent Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens, and you got everyone else, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Slavkovsky, that team is going to be good for a long time. And let's look again, maybe a couple more questions from me. As far as the NHL standings, we've seen it enough over the last stretch of 25 games at some point now for the Buffalo Sabres, where they were, 21-2-2 or something like that, 23-2-2. So the Buffalo Sabres now, as they come back up from the break, I know this is the question that's all on our mind as they sit 32-19-6. Are they going to be able to hold on to this and make the playoffs? Because they were unreal and before this break, and I hope that they don't slow down. I want to see them get in.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that they make the playoffs and finally end that long drought. It's been a long time coming for Buffalo. Lindy Ruff was the last coach of the Sabres when they last made the playoffs. He's once again the head coach now. With Tage Thompson, Zach Benson, and Alex Lyon and Rasmus Dahlin at the helm for Buffalo, it is certainly possible with Lindy Ruff having to play well above their weight. Lindy is having to play their best hockey of their careers. And if Buffalo will make the playoffs, this would be one of the best stories in the NHL.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the way that Buffalo has been able to go on that run, as you talked about, I would say Alex Lyon would have been those guys that absolutely would have been available at the trade deadline because everybody could have used his services. He had a great year.
And he is certainly establishing himself as the number one option for Buffalo. And we don't know what the future holds at the goaltender crease for the Sabres, but right now it is Lyon as goaltender crease. And that drastically changed Buffalo's plans from sellers to either standing pat or soft buy. I think soft buy may be the best possible choice if they don't stand pat. But as of now for Buffalo, they should stay at this course.
Let me ask you this, Alec. It's been a while since we were able to hook up on a call here, and I asked Ian this last time he was on the broadcast. But you look at the Dallas Stars, and they had a run in between November and December, January. It was December, January, where they had an astronomical run. They got a whole ton of points. They were only behind the Colorado Avalanche because they've been so ridiculous. I know Dallas has won 6 in a row since this break, but outside of that, in the 6-game win streak, Dallas has looked pretty ordinary, even though they sit at 34-14-9 because that's how hot they were early. Are you a little bit worried that they're top heavy?
So far for Dallas, they played the part of a contending team. But as of right now, with Rantanen, Robertson, who still, I feel, should have been a Team USA selection, and I'm going to stand on that. Johnston, Heiskanen, Hintz, those are the only 4 or 5 players on the Stars that have at least 40 points on the year. Not saying Thomas Harley is bad, but Harley's having a down year by his standards. Yet, he's still being selected to Team Canada's roster. I think this Olympic tournament should bolster Harley's confidence headed back up to the NHL regular season and to get on a hot run the rest of the way. Sam Steele is getting more minutes, good for him, because he was usually on the 4th line. Now he's getting more minutes on the middle 6 with the injury to Tyler Seguin and all. But Dallas is operating top heavy right now. Last year was their best shot going all in with Rantanen and all the players they have. But now, because of the cap crunch, they're forced to go top heavy. And we don't know what their future lies with Robertson.
And that was my question, because I'm looking at this too in the Central. You got Colorado at number 1. Colorado starting to drop some points, but they're still 37-9-9. But the Minnesota Wild now, with that Quinn Hughes trade, as Dylan Larkin is being interviewed, got 78 points. And I know we talk about Dallas winning last year with Mikko Rantanen against the Colorado in Game 7. But I kind of wonder if Minnesota's caught up to them now from that Quinn Hughes trade. I think they look pretty good. And that 2-3 matchup, whatever it's going to be in the Central, again, will be must watch one more time.
Well, you're about to get the people who want the 1-8 playoff format back, myself included. But the 2 versus 3 matchup in the Central, that's going to be must watch in the Stanley Cup playoffs once it begins. Whoever comes way they are. Minnesota is obviously catching up, and we know things are going to change now that we have a top pairing of Quinn, Hughes, and Brock Faber in Minnesota to complement Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Bodie. Maybe this could be the time that the Wild finally win a playoff series for the first time in 11 years.
Let me ask you this. I know the West Conference and the Eastern Conference have such a point disparity, but let me look in the Pacific for a moment. The Vegas Golden Knights have 68 points, which wouldn't be enough to even make a wild card berth in the East, but they lead 27, 16, and 14 is their record. They got more losses than they do wins. Edmonton Oilers are second with 64 points, 28, 22, and 8. Seattle Kraken, they're still back in there, 27, 20, and 9 with 63 points. But you got the Mammoth, the Ducks, the Kings, and then the Oilers and the Kraken. Let's say the Golden Knights get the first seed. Everything else is up for grab. How do you see that order going? And do you think the Mammoth will get in?
It's all a thin line from here and there.
Yeah.
Everything is narrow margins in the Western Conference. But let's assume that the Golden Knights win the Pacific Division. I would imagine that the order is going to be, let's say, anything can change from here on out, but things are kind of tumultuous to the Oilers, and the Anaheim Ducks are starting to creep up on them. They're 8-2-0 in their last 10 games. So if the momentum can change any which way, assuming that the Oilers hold on to the second seed, I can see the Ducks stealing the third seed in the Pacific, which would put the Kraken on the first wild card spot should things hold. And the second wild card is a toss-up. But unfortunately, it's going to be only one of the Mammoth, Kings, Predators, and Sharks. If the Sharks make it in, I would give the Hart Trophy to Celebrini immediately.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's MacKinnon.
No, absolutely. And we're all in agreement there. Again, you're third in the line of talking points as far as Macklin Celebrini behind McDavid and MacKinnon. And he's 19, as we talk about, for Mike Greer and company. That's about as good as it gets. And as you mentioned, alongside for the Mammoth in the Central, their really only avenue to get in is the wild card. They are, 13 points out of a playoff spot in the Central. Really not their fault because you got the Avalanche, Wild, and Stars. But it is something to think about. As you said, 2 and 3, they're tied 2 and 3 as far as the seeding in between the Oilers, Kraken, and the Ducks and the Mammoth. So that's going to be a lot to think about in the Pacific. So that'll be fun to watch that race all the way down the stretch. And I think that one will go nip and tuck, as Alec mentioned, because every other race, maybe outside of, let me look at this really quickly, the Metropolitan, the New York Islanders have 69 points. The next closest would be the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Caps with 65. I'm going to say the Ottawa Senators, even though they might have a game in hand, I think they're going to miss. I picked them to miss this year.
That's looking more and more realistic because the Atlantic Division is jam-packed. And at the maximum, we're seeing 5 teams from the Atlantic make the playoffs. That's going to be the case again, barring anything drastic from Columbus or Washington who are on the outside looking in. But as it stands, I see Tampa, Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, and Boston. But at this point, usually, the standings would hold up. But anything can change in a win.
Yeah, we're just hoping, and coming back from the break, and go ahead, Ian, but it's Tampa. I'm just hoping they cool off at some point.
Don't count on that. It is going to be a tight race from the time they restart to the end. I don't think you'll see the wild card teams pull away like we have in previous seasons.
Certainly doesn't look like it. Again, outside of the Pacific that we just talked about, Ian, that's really the only thing I see that can change. I just want to mention this as far as the World Baseball Classic. We're going to get some of those games already televised from Wednesday, March 4th. That is essentially a week and a half from today. So you'll start to watch that one. It's Chinese Taipei in Australia, 10 p.m. FS1 in the Tokyo Dome. They'll start as early as that. The United States will get going against Brazil at Dyken Park in Houston, 8 o'clock on Fox. But a lot of these, FS1, FS2, Fox, Tubi, be able to watch all those games. They're all going to be televised. So a week and a half after this event, we got the World Baseball Classic.
Oh, man. Hoping for a USA victory this time around the World Baseball Classic.
Hoping, Alec, that we could probably get a couple of those calls in as well, because I know before when we had that, it was Ohtani striking out Trout so that the Japan beat the United States. And I remember doing that. And actually, on the space, there was about 25, 30 people in there. So I knew it was going to get jam-packed. I know the Tigers played yesterday in their spring training game. They lost 20-3. So we're going to get that one started early, just get those losses out of the way. It is only spring training. But here we go. Start of the third period. Hold all tickets here. It is 1-1. John Eder with you alongside Alec Nava Ian Genge. I know Alex had a long stretch of time with college plans and all that, but he's in here providing the color for me. Ian's in here as always. I'm trying to take you all the way through this, and I'll probably take a nap after. Hopefully be happy after it. As Thomas Harlan will settle this one ahead now for Macklin Celebrini as they switch ends and go right to left. Here's Macklin. A pass for Connor McDavid on his backhand. He gets stick to side. And the United States, a bad pass. It's Tom Wilson to get puck possession now as this gets rimmed in behind the end boards. Harley, one more time for Macklin Celebrini as this goes in behind the net for Connor McDavid. Can't take him off the puck. Hughes trying to provide some support alongside McAvoy. And this one goes up the outside of the cage. Picked up now by Quinn Hughes. Eichel across the bumper. And it's Brady Tkachuk. And off the long flip. And the United States have iced it early. That was a problem in the second period, 19-12 in the third.
The Tkachuk brothers are known for their heavy hits, but don't count out Tom Wilson. He ran over one of the Americans like a freight train on that opening shift.
That's what he loves to do, Alec, as you mentioned. Again, it's going to be no love lost for anyone who does not like Tom Wilson outside of Washington. You're going to have to deal with that for at least for another set of 20, maybe more, depending on what happens. As this is a face-off win for the Americans, and they have iced it one more time, 1905.
As we say hello to Michaela Schifrin and Dave Christian, who is part of Brock Nelson's family and a member of the Miracle on Ice team in 1980. Michaela Schifrin winning going to Slalom, the women's side. Good for her.
One more D-zone draw. This time it's lost for the U.S. They've not been able to change since a couple consecutive icings. Devon Toews up over the cage of Connor Hellebuyck as Mark Stone sends it around. Finishes off a cross-check on Eichel. This is kept in by Toews, now to Cale. That's who teamed up on the latest goal. Toews sends a pinball towards Hellebuyck, fights it off, goes back to Devon. The left side bumper. Same spot now for Marner. He walks in, wrister loose, and this one is saved to the goal line by the United States defense. Does not go past Hellebuyck, and the first 90 seconds have expired, but Canada's attack already starting on the right forefront. U.S. save a goal there, and it's Cale Makar. Ice is offsides against Canada.
Oh my goodness, Hellebuyck. How did he make that save off the stick with Devon Toews right at the blue paint receiving that cross-ice speed? That was simply incredible. Reaching out on the back of the stick and then keeping that away from the goal line. That's just marvelous from Connor.
Great call by you because I just saw the replay. He's reaching back, falling down, gets a piece with the stick. Otherwise, it's a 2-1 game. Unbelievable work for Connor Hellebuyck. Sanheim, as this one sent back down and across the neutral zone win. Connor Hellebuyck has been outrageous, but he's going to have to stick up that way the whole way because the U.S. needs an attack. This one goes into the players' benches.
That's just simply incredible. Looking back at that save, that's an instant replay, highlight real-time save for Hellebuyck. Man, I could talk about this for the next few minutes, and it still wouldn't get old.
Marner gets the drive-by past Eichel, throws it on. Devon Toews right there. I guess the one thing I could say for Devon Toews, too, he's activated a lot in front of the net, the offensive defenseman. I thought he's had a sparkling game. Hellebuyck 30 out of 31. Jordan Binnington just 15 out of 16. Hasn't had any work to do, really, as this is looped out of the defensive zone. Matthew Tkachuk on a back skate. Here's Matthew. Off the drop pass for Jack Hughes. Hughes pressured and behind the net by Brad Marchand. He gets dwarfed almost. Jack not the tallest player, as this one will be looked back down. Werenski, not far enough for icing. Started again on his own end. Again, the U.S. in the white jersey with the blue pants, red striping. They'll take a wrister on. Binnington falls down. He fights it off. And then Hagel taken down in the middle of a rush. As it's picked up across the right side boards, Jake Sanderson trying to fight off the contact with Suzuki. Back at the point, Colton Parayko and the Thomas Harley skate blades. He lost it. He's on the back skate now, providing some support. So he'll get the steal across the neutral zone. If you're just joining us, it's 1-1 in this gold medal game. Now to the right side boards. Parayko sent back down deep. Canada again, one more time. Excellent work on the puck possession. Harley, slapper goes wide. Picked up across the left side red line. U.S. finishes a couple checks. It's loose out in front, and Boldy's got it. He's played a good 200-foot game. We'll see if the U.S. have iced it again. Yes, they have at 16:38.
And it was a pinball shot by Jake Gensel to the front of the net that bounced off one of the Canadians on when Binnington fell down and fought that shot away. That was a little auspicious on the bounce, but Gensel has had eyes on that puck the whole way, and the puck even had eyes too.
It did, because it ended up having to hit Binnington toward the left side of his gut. If that didn't do that, it could have went in. That would have been a lucky shot if that. MacKinnon gets taken down off the draw, and this will be sent in. But again, I'll just speak for all of us. The U.S. have got the pressure the other way. Connor Hellebuyck's not going to be able to hold forever. He's conceded one, but he's been brilliant. Here is MacKinnon now. Slow up wrister right in front of the crease, and Hellebuyck fights it off. As this will be chipped by Miller back down. But that's all the United States have been doing is just chip and chase, but no chase. Now Tage Thompson gets a fortuitous bounce. This one not kept in. As Tage got to play some back check work. His pass right up the gut. This will be entered beautifully now. U.S., what can they do? It's open behind the net for Quinn Hughes. Centering feed goes right to Canada. Celebrini gets it sticked away. Now Quinn, right side dot one-timer blocked. Here comes Canada. It's Celebrini on a break. He gets denied by Hellebuyck. He gets denied off the wrister. Picked up now for Vincent Trocheck. 2 breaks for Canada. They don't score on either. Jack Eichel fights it off across the right side wall. Picked up now for Canada again. Now in on the back pass, Nick Suzuki. Send this one down deep. Dylan Larkin will take it D to D. United States try to go left to right. Jack Eichel in between the players' benches as this is sent back down off the glass. It's now Larkin. He'll chase against Theodore, and this will go back to Marner, the Vegas Golden Knights. Larkin will go right to the bench. Picked up now for Canada off the rush. This one fought off by Connor Hellebuyck. This high slot now. Harley sets up the 1-2. Parayko claps it wide. Harley, high slot. One more one-timer there for Parayko, and Hellebuyck's got that too. Shot board 35-17.
Ooh, that almost looked like a car crash right after Celebrini has gone that breakaway. 2 for 2 Hellebuyck on breakaways against Canada on the day or afternoon in Milan. Canada is showing their pressure from the second period onwards. I think whatever speech that Crosby may have made, I'm just assuming this, it may be working right now.
Yeah, I mean, this has been completely dominant for Canada here, but it's still 1-1. Connor Hellebuyck's giving them a chance. I think this is the best game I've seen him play as Harley, and that says a lot. Jarvis with this one back around for Jake Sanderson. You just got to get something going the other way. This is a long flip again for the U.S. They cannot sustain anything here. They're just dumping it and letting Canada attack with wave after wave. That's what we're seeing. Drew Doughty's pass. This is tipped. Stopped by Hellebuyck in behind the net. Sanderson got to make a quick decision. He will take another long flip down for the U.S. They'll chase. Now I think Tkachuk got a piece of it with the blade as this goes back to Harley. Good touch pass. He looped back down the ice. Picked up off the backhand. Charlie McAvoy coughed up in the middle of the circles now for Hagel. This will give Canada some possession as Toews will send this down deep. And now the U.S. look to escape right up the gut and stick Chuck near the bench. And a back pass has to get picked back up now for Quinn Hughes. Hughes surveys. Throw this one up ice. It's a pull ball pass. Pick up by Eichel. He'll chase it on the right side red line. Eichel still with it. The righty Sets it up in the middle of the circles. Binnington will say no with the left pad, and he got blocked first. Goes off a stick tie-up. This is excellent work there for the U.S. forecheck for a moment. Now Eichel, sharp angle chance, gets denied in behind the net, and Canada, no problem. We'll get this out of their own zone. Tom Wilson will ride across the left side of the wall and loop back. In for Nelson, and Wilson steals. Wilson now to MacKinnon. MacKinnon will spin near the right dot. High slot wrister. This one blocked, rebound, and is saved in the glove of Hellebuyck.
USA is playing too much dump and chase hockey in this third period, as you pointed out. We can't just keep playing dump and chase hockey for a full 20 minutes of a period and expect to come out alive in this one. Canada's gotten the majority of the chances ever since the start of the second period, when I mentioned about the 19-8 shot disparity, and it's biting us that dump and chase hockey. I mean, it can work from time to time when you're defending a lead. Here's the problem. We're not defending a lead. It's a tie game, and we're just going on with the same strategy. You have to change up the strategy some more and go on a rush-based offense. So as you speed up the pace and tire out Canada some more.
Here's the other thing, too, and I know this goes without saying, but with all the dump and chase that's been going on for the U.S., is Connor Hellebuyck's going to need some more spelling salts and get a little rest here. If you're doing that, you're also not drawing penalties, and the U.S. is not going to get another power play in this game playing like that.
Absolutely not. You need to draw penalties and make Canada bite. You want to get a good sense when you're playing the rush-based offense. Canada's doing a good job staying disciplined. In the United States, they're just being a little too passive, maybe too passive here in this third period. And also, with the Canada going with their rush-based offense, it's going to tire out the United States more and more.
I think at some point that's what we will see. I'm hopeful that that's not the case, but looking at Dylan Larkin now with Brady Tkachuk and Jack Eichel trying to talk about what they might want to do here. But this feels like a 16th century castle battle with that log in the middle and just jamming the door until it breaks loose. We talked about that in the second. We're seeing that a lot here in the third. We talked about maybe speeches or what the U.S. attack would be. And Alec and I have outlined it for anyone that's listening in. All it has been is the dump without the chase, as Canada fans now starting to do the wave. Got to win this draw now. Auston Matthews does not, but the U.S. get a break here. We'll have to do it again.
There's Matthews on the faceoff. You mentioned Dylan Larkin. That's a good speed option for the United States to use to generate a rush-based attack.
Matthews gets a second opportunity. You're absolutely right with that for number 21. Again, I would normally say 71. Matthews does win this draw on the second opportunity. And now McAvoy, entry across the left wing, a ring around the inboards now. The U.S. will go chase. We've been saying that for a while. It's like a dog and a frisbee as Matthews, and off the stick chop, can't get it away from Stone. And Canada are going to start with the vulcanized rubber. They're just dictating this game right now. If not for Connor Hellebuyck, 35 of 36. McAvoy breaks on the backhand from his own end. Entry across the left wing, but there's three Canadians there as Binnington stops it in behind the goal crease. Working behind the net for Jake Getzel, trying to get inside oppositioning on Sanheim. Boldy with a stick lift, trying to pry it loose. Canada's got it though. Brad Marchand, now for Travis Sanheim. We'll loop this in across the red line. That was a little fortuitous. Don't know if he actually made it. As Sanderson trying to stay on his feet. Matthews out there trying to get it loose. And here's a spin and turn now for the United States in their own end. Marchand, the 1-4 checker here. The rest of Canada backs off. Sanderson makes the pass. And the left side red line, the U.S. gets the entry now for Brock Nelson. This is contested across the bumper. Jack Hughes in behind the net. He's going to have to go get it himself. Jack Hughes does. Tries to hold the line. He does, but the puck rolls out to Hagel. Right across center ice. He accelerates. Ripper gets blocked. Hagel trying to pick it back up. He gets worked over behind the net now as this pass across the right side wall is rolling out of their neutral. Out of Thomas Harley. 11:15 left to go in the third. Still 1-1. Hagel. And off the drop across the left side wall. Picked up now for Hagel and McDavid and behind the net. Lefty trying to keep it alive. Hagel sends it back to the point. Cale Makar's got to go chase it. U.S. can try to take some changes here if they want. They have to do so quickly. Macklin Celebrini, good touch pass up the gut to Nathan MacKinnon. Now Connor McDavid, high slot, one more pass. This is wide open, and MacKinnon missed an open net. 1-1, we're still live. As this goes in behind the net, it was wide open against Hellebuyck. No chance for him to make the save, and he airmailed it. This goes the other way now for the United States. Looping behind for Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes keeps it alive, left side. Rister, Binnington down, rebound. It's underneath them. He makes a glove save. U.S. has it now. Werenski, high slot. Quinn, slapper, deflected. U.S. finally got a shot on goal for the first time in maybe 10 minutes. As this is Thompson end over end. The Larkin line back out there. I can't believe Nathan MacKinnon didn't score that. Once we get a stoppage, we'll tell you more. Werenski as Mike Sullivan's squad changes on the fly. We're halfway down with the third, ladies and gentlemen. It's still 1-1. We're all on the edge of our seat. This is now off the glass for the U.S. This will go back to Doughty. Doughty, long stretch up the gut. Here is Reinhart. Reinhart's speed now for Suzuki as they'll chase him behind the net. Seth Jarvis, they'll win it. This goes back to Sanheim. Jarvis on his backhand. That's Reinhart now. He gets canceled off the left side of the dot and looped in behind the net now for the United States, trying to get it out. There's a broken stick in their own end. Now Sanheim, settle it down right in the middle of the slot, off the skate. Sanheim gets it back, a little bit too much of a bounce for him. We'll give puck possession for Mr. Jake Sanderson. Sanderson now, a one-hand tug, gets away from the pressure, throws it back down deep in his own end. Here for Brock Faber. Long outstretched pass for the United States, hits Binnington, forced him to make a save. He will loop it. This is now settled down for Jaccob Slavin. Loop it back down for Binnington. And the U.S. try to attack quickly across the right side of the boards. This is on the left side blue line, tipped before whatever hit Binnington. And contested. Now Canada looks to break out with numbers. Leading off the rush. This one gets knocked away. Settle back down. Stone, a slap pass. As it's too far for the stick of Parayko. United States will loop it away from Stone. Too many men on the ice maybe against the United States if that wasn't called. Canada furious. 8:30 left to go in the third, but they got it. Devon Toews. Now to Marchand. Marchand loops in behind the net. 8:20 left to go in the third. Turnaround chance. Hellebuyck fights it off. Jamming away at the crease. Here's a chance. Everybody in tight, and this one goes wide. That doesn't get lifted home. Now for Marchand. He makes a move up the gut, loses the puck, and the U.S. will throw it into an open corner now. It's Cale Makar. Settle back down. Crowd getting very loud here to Milano Cortina. Canada knows they were that close. If not for Connor Hellebuyck, this could easily be 5-3, the scoreline I first thought it could have been. As it's Macklin Celebrini. Up the gut off the drop pass. Brister missed the net for Nathan MacKinnon. He was trying to snipe the top left corner. MacKinnon now, end-to-end, breathless action. Sanheim sets it up. Traffic at the net, and Hellebuyck falls down, but he's got it in the glove.
Oh, guys, we've survived so much heart attacks at our own defensive end. There's so much that we're finally getting offensive help that Hellebuyck was calling for on the other end of the ice. And Nathan MacKinnon, even as an American, how do you not score there? You had a wide open crease, and it hit the side of the cage. But Connor Hellebuyck has been outstanding. And even if the United States loses this game, Connor Hellebuyck has easily been the best player of this game.
Yep. Win, lose, or draw, I completely agree with you. Connor Hellebuyck, it's been his game for number 37. It's the only reason why we're still where we are. And that last one, Larkin fighting off Suzuki. You got Matthews. It's a massive humanity in front of the net. I promise it's not a power play. That's what it looked like. And on this previous sequence, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see any extra players. As long as they're able to get on the bench and not touch the puck, I think they're okay. Not too many men, but that was narrowly avoided, Alec.
Dodged a major bullet there, John. I mean, we got the line changed right on time. We didn't even touch up the puck. Canada was playing it out furiously, and they thought that they should have gotten a power play out of it. But if they do get a power play, I think you don't know how that's going to end up because USA has been perfect on the penalty kill.
USA's got to get the next one, and I'm not even talking goals. They got to get the next power play if they're going to want to have opportunities to get consistent shots on this team. And it might have to be Quinn Hughes. Again, I hate to put so much on his shoulder, but there's a reason why we missed him so much in the Four Nations. You could talk about Robo not being here, which I agree he should be, but Quinn Hughes is so damn important to this team. You got to drive offense. Here is an opportunity off the faceoff win.
Sure.
Sanheim will throw this one down deep. 7:25 left to go in the third. Where is the attack going to come from? That's been the question over for a period and a half now, but we still sit 1-1. It is a one-goal game, and it's anybody's contest, and as it gets later, that's what it will be. Long shot from 120, fought off by Binnington. As Connor McDavid back out there playing defense in his own end, U.S. will steal. Put this to Charlie McAvoy. Left side for Hughes. Power move to the net. He gets canceled off, I think, by Binnington's skate. As this will be settled back down now. Contested pass. Canada got to get out of their own way. Celebrini, beautiful feed. Here's a half spin for MacKinnon, and he forces Hellebuyck into a save, and then somebody blows a tire, and a penalty in the hand in the air. It's going to be a U.S. power play. 6:40 left to go in the third. The clock was frozen. We should have more time off the clock than that. U.S. with it. Canada will touch. The U.S. will indeed get a power play. Shot board 40-22.
I cannot believe that we didn't get a penalty out of this one because I thought it was going to be a Canada power play. Oh, will look like Jack Hughes did the first move. Did he trip a Sam Bennett? No, he didn't. I don't know if there was a penalty out of this on Sam Bennett. Is there a high stick in the area? I didn't see it.
They got right now on the live sport. Yeah, right now on the live sport box, I see Sam Bennett with a 2+2. He might be getting 4 minutes.
Oh hey, my goodness!
He got Hughes right in the face. Yeah, he got Hughes right in the face, Alec.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Okay, 4 minutes, gentlemen. 4 minutes of power play time.
This is their chance. U.S. got to score here.
Right here.
Yeah, they do. I agree with you. That's the numero uno as far as who needs to get it done. Everybody in Canada got their head down. This is the United States' big chance. Again, this is only a 5-on-4, not a 5-on-3, but they've got to score one. You can't go scoreless here. Bo Horvat will win it. We'll start Canada with puck possession. Shot board again, as I said, 40-23. Quinn Hughes is going to be the driver, and if you're Canada, you can score shorthanded, no doubt. So you got to be careful if you're Quinn. Quinn now make the back pass. This is United States' best chance. Eichel look for Thompson, but he wasn't in the zone just yet. Now Thompson got to go back. This will be looped, but not down. Matthews will get this steal, and this goes to Matthew Tkachuk. U.S. just trying to get settled here within the first 30 seconds of this double liner. Sam Bennett in the box for a 4-minute against Hughes. Up the gut. Here's a chance now near the left dot as this works behind the net. The United States just need to get organized and run some offense. Matthews knocks it down with the skate blade as he got it near the right dot. Matthews keeps it alive on the backhand. This back pass is Hughes. Somehow slows it down. Quinn Hughes at that to Auston Matthews near the right dot. Matthews surveys on his backhand. It's a sauce to Quinn. Left side dot one-timer. Binnington behind it, but he makes the save. He reaches around. It was loose toward the right side boards. Not a Tkachuk. He coughs it up. And now Mitch Marner going to be able to kill some time and take some changes for Canada on the fly. Smartly get their changes. Now Harley's got it to Marner, and they'll be able to really kill time here. Stone send this one back. Stone gets stick lifted. It took 3 U.S. players to take him off the puck. And the first part of that minor is almost expired. 2:20 left to go. This is flipped and off the glass. U.S. can't even get an offensive zone possession here. They attempt to dump it. They finally get it in now. Here for Getzel across the right side. It's Matt Boldy. He opened the scoring. Cale Makar scored the latest. Boldy, right circle. This is back now for Werenski. Left side dot pass in the middle. This is blocked. Didn't hit Binnington. Recollected now for Jack Hughes, who drew the penalty. 1:50 left to go in the power play. One-timer. And this is saved by Binnington and behind the net. United States have it now. Into the right side corner, Boldy being worked over behind the net. Long sail clear, does not get out. And then try to get kept in the line by Werenski. Got to check back up. United States got to get back on side. They will, as this is a big elbow. Knocks the United States off the puck. Try to get back on side again. And off the drop for Boldy across the right dot. Boldy now. They'll spin and turn as this is sent back in behind the net. 3:50 left to go in the third. U.S. a tripping penalty, I think. Yes, it is. So that power play is going to go away. And Canada's in the same spot they were almost in that last game. They could win it on the power play here once the U.S. touch. It is now open right to left. 3:30 left to go in the third.
Of all the times to take a penalty, this has to be the time. And ironically, it's Jack Hughes, the man who drew the penalty on Sam Bennett. But yeah, he chops Bo Horvat up high. That's a high sticky penalty.
Yep.
He makes textbook. We're going to go 4-on-4, but that you cannot do, especially this late in the game. And I don't care if USA has the best penalty kill and has yet to give up a power play goal. You cannot take a penalty this late in the game,
Nope.
knowing Canada has the best power play.
Yeah, I don't like that because you chase the puck there. I understand you got the stick up high and you try to get something there, but you're not in possession of the puck. By the time you even reach out with your stick, you can't get there. You can't force anything that's not there. You just let Canada clear the puck, and now you give them a power play. You said it right.
I mean, best case scenario here is if we score 4-on-4 and kill off this penalty and hold on to a 2-1 lead. But the goal has to come on 4-on-4. We cannot let this opportunity on 4-on-4 go and slip.
Yeah, if the U.S. end up settling for silver in this game, again, we still got a long way to go between that. 3:23 in the third, it's 1-1. But they're just going to think about the lack of attack that they had in this game. Canada's been in complete control. Connor Hellebuyck's been the only reason. And some of the U.S. defense early from the first and second. But 39 out of 40, he stood more than on his head at this point. Canada's got a chance to win it right now. 4-on-4 for 49 seconds, and then they'll get an abbreviated power play. And we know what's to be expected. They didn't score in the last two. U.S. penalty kill's been perfect in this tournament. They're going to get tested again. Quinn Hughes off the defensive zone draw win. And it's 4-on-4 for 40 more seconds. What is going to happen next? Next goal likely wins it. It is Eichel. Find the entry. Eichel, what a stick handle. Shoots it on. He misses it toward the top left of the post. Quinn Hughes doesn't hold it in, but it will give the U.S. puck possession. Charlie McAvoy, got to be smart here. He was not. Here's a chance for McDavid. Turn on the burners on his backhand. That was a poor pass for McAvoy. That will give Canada possession. Good move by Celebrini as this one fought off by Hellebuyck. Said that a lot. Picked up now for Macklin. Cross pass for Connor. And this one will get chipped off the glass. This will be a Canada power play now that they've touched for 1:05 by the time they get in the zone. 2:25 left to go in the third. All hands on deck. It's Connor McDavid to Nathan MacKinnon. MacKinnon now. Right side dot. Works in behind the net of Hellebuyck. He is very patient. He's scored from the left dot quite a bit. He gets it from that spot from McDavid. One-timer. Celebrini. This one misses up high. McAvoy does not get it out. Here is Makar. Keeps it in. High slot. Makar fakes the ripper. Sets it up for MacKinnon. Backdoor feed for Celebrini. Got sticked away at the last moment. It's Makar, high slot. Feeling the danger now for the United States. Makar to MacKinnon. Left dot at the net. It's Hellebuyck with a beautiful save. 1:40 left to go in the third. United States on life support. This is sent behind the net weakly. It's not out again. The United States is gassed. It's MacKinnon now on the left side. 90 seconds left to go in the third. This one blocked. And a diving play gets it out for the United States. If they're going to change, they got to do it right now. As this goes back down to Cale Makar. He's going to look to go length of the ice, maybe. He'll drop it back to Colton Parayko. 1:10 left to go in the third. Shot board 41-26. Here's an entry now. Canada is offsides. This will go back to Harley in Canada's end. 60 seconds left to go in regulation. Will we get overtime? Charlie McAvoy We'll send this one down the ice, and this will go to Harley, not far enough for icing. Harley sends it the other way. Settle back down now for Canada across the left side red line. Here's a spin and hold. United States get the steal. Chip it head off the glass successfully. Rolling puck. And the United States content to put it across the red. Down to 30. Devon Toews push this one up the ice. Touch pass. Beautiful. Toews gets the entry. Toews has it now. He'll spin on the right side. Kept in by Canada. Sent at the net. Auston Matthews just rolling far enough. Cross center ice. Drew Doughty slows it down, does Connor Hellebuyck. Brad Marchand gets stick lifted down to 5. And this rolls down. Not iced. We're going to go to OT.
Oh, man.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Just to think about this, we did predict a scoreless third period, and there were so many chances. Back with Celebrini has been a sensation. And who would have thought that he would have one of the closest chances to breaking this game, even for Canada? But the difference maker has been, and always has been in this game, Connor Hellebuyck. And he's the reason why it's not a more lopsided score as it already is. For the second straight time between these two border rivals, overtime awaits us all.
Yep, Tree said it. Even if they lose, build a statue of Connor Hellebuyck.
Yes.
You know,
preferably in his hometown, in Commerce, Michigan.
Build two. Build one in his hometown, and build one right outside the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.
Please. It would do us all a favor to make hockey a recognized sport in this country all throughout. Hockey is at its peak, and we're happy to have it here at this state. This might as well be the best game of the entire hockey season, NHL and Olympics combined. This is absolute madness right here, and I'm happy to have watched it with both of you here. Oh, man. It's only fitting that we get overtime as a way to have this as a resolution. So after 60, it's still 1-1. The only goals from Matt Brady of the United States of America and Cale Makar of Canada. The assist on the voting goal for Auston Matthews and Quinn Hughes with his 7th assist of the Olympics. Devon Toews has the only assist on the Cale Makar goal. But let's be honest, if anyone was not expecting overtime out of this one, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's the only way to settle this. 20 minutes, 3-on-3 overtime, and a fight to the gold medal, just like in the women's game.
Yeah, it's crazy the way that it worked out, and it's crazy that the score line is going to end up being the same as well.
Yeah, just think about it. It's so crazy.
We had at that point, at the end of quarterfinals, and then when the U.S. women won over Canada, it was 4 of the last 5 games at Santaguia Arena that went to OT. And this one, as you said, on the final day of the Olympics, before the closing ceremonies, this was the main course. Everything else was the dessert or the appetizers at this point. I don't know what to say. I do think the U.S., at least in the end of that third period, they had to kill some penalties. That Jack Hughes one was a little bit fortunate that the U.S. fought that off, because Celebrini, as you mentioned, don't know how he doesn't score there off the setup from Nathan MacKinnon and Connor McDavid. But my heart was in my throat the whole way. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've enjoyed having you on the call.
Oh, for sure. I enjoy having you guys on the call here as well. First gold medal game between these two since 2010. Feels like every time we see every so often between NHL players, we're almost expected to see these two compete for gold. Who knows? We can discuss about what would happen for USA should we have selected Robertson Fox. We also can wonder if Russia was also part of the Olympics. But that's for another discussion. Happy to have watched this with you two. Now, I know some of my friends are already making in overtime predictions. So one of my friends said Auston Matthews USA, Macklin, Celebrini, Canada. I'll go and say Connor McDavid, Canada. Dylan Larkin, USA.
Go ahead, Ian. You leave your predictions next, and then I will take mine.
You know what? I've been doing it for a lot of our overtime coverages. I'm going to do it here. Cale Makar for Canada and Quinn Hughes for the United States.
I'm going to go ahead and leave mine in a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and put a post on X. I'm going to let them know that we're going into overtime. You guys all make that same announcement as well. I'm going to leave my predictions. Just give me 1 minute.
I like where you're going with your predictions, Ian. Going all defensemen with this. Numero uno y numero dos in terms of NHL caliber defensemen on the rankings. Makar and Hughes, that's excellent. Something else to note is that Canada outshot the United States 33-18 from the second period at the start.
Just put that post out there. We might get a flood of people. We may or may not, but I figured let everybody know, give them the courtesy on social media. It is OT, and yes, we are live and on the call. I'll put the recorder back on. Again, as Alec mentioned, shot board has been obviously slanted. We've talked about that a bunch and throughout this game. It now reads 41-26. Power play opportunities. 3 for 3, both teams. Technically, that double minor, Sam Bennett with the high stick against Hughes, and then Hughes gives one back up. I can't believe that Canada's been turned away 0 for 3. I had that over under sit at 2. I think the U.S. has dodged a couple bullets. As far as my predictions officially of who's going to win it, I'm going to say, against my better judgment, that Canada wins this one 2-1. I don't want that to be the case, but I still think with their attack, unless the U.S. finds something, we'll see what they get. As far as Canada and the winner, I think this is going to be not off the board, and I like the ones for that Ian had mentioned with defensemen, but the kid's been so good, and why not make it about the kid? Because we've seen it in the World Juniors with Connor Bedard. Macklin Celebrini will get the winner for Canada. And as far as the United States, I love the pick that Alec made about Dylan Larkin. I'd lose my voice at that point if it ended up happening. He's too important, and it's good to have him back on the offense, and I hope that he finds a way to get the cannon loose. Give me Mr. Tage Thompson.
The guy who scored the World Championships winner from last year. The only goal for USA in that classic game in the 1-0 OT win. But what a game. Celebrini and Thompson, I love those selections. You know, you're seeing Bo Horvath getting his teeth checked after getting high stick by Jack Hughes. Looked like he got part of his roof knocked out.
Wouldn't surprise me. There's been a lot of that going on in this game. There's been a lot of hits. Again, as you guys said, you can't fight on the Olympic side, but there has been no love lost between these two. I'm going to go ahead and reset my feed. We should have some time here, so give me another moment.
It's no surprise, as he said, because hockey is a contact sport, and on the NHL level, they don't wear full visors as they do in college.
Sorry about that, guys. I just don't want any stretch of the imagination where I lose my feed here. I saw that started to freeze. So I think we got enough time that I'll be able to load this back up before the overtime starts because it was just the first break. We're going to get a full ice scrapage here and then get set for OT. If there is any sort of matter where I missed like 20 seconds, I'm sure one of you guys can cover me there, but shouldn't have any problems. We'll get this loaded back up quickly.
Oh, man. Oh, the nerves that are here leading up to. We have a University of Michigan flag here at Milan. for all the players that went to Michigan Wolverines hockey.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that as well. Again, I saw the basketball game yesterday in that little non-conference action between Michigan and Duke did a pretty good job defensively against that team. I actually think that the hoops, as far as the maize and blue, Alec, they could go pretty darn far in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, despite the loss for Michigan, I'm proud of the Wolverines men's hoops team. Dusty May has elevated this team to a new level with Yaxel Lendenberg and company leading the charge. And I'll tell you, Cameron Boozer is going to be a really good player in the NBA once he's drafted.
Still Carlos Boozer's son, correct?
Yeah, he's one of the two twins.
Holy cow, yeah, he was really good defensively. They were able to shut Michigan down. That was a really good game all the way across the board if you like defense. And they talked about Yaxel Lindenborg as well, as far as getting his grades up, transferring across, and being a guy that probably doesn't hit a ton of threes to doing a lot of damage in that game. So we'll see what ends up happening for them in the tournament. Hopefully we can get some of those games. Hopefully I get a chance to cover some World Baseball Classic with you. I'm just glad, gentlemen, that you're here with me on this call. As I mentioned previously, we're back up here and ready to go. We're just getting our way through this full intermission before we get to OT. It scares me a little bit as we talk about the 3-on-3, as far as Canada having that advantage, because you could essentially go Cale, Makar, Connor McDavid, and Nathan MacKinnon as your opening part of the line. If you're the U.S., I guess here's the question for you. What's your first lead line on a 3-on-3? Who do you trust the most?
For USA, what would trust to get a goal off the bat? I would say you want to put Matthews, Boldy, and Quinn Hughes for the opening face-off. I know Vincent Trocek's likely going to take the opening draw, but if he does, sub him out for Matthews if he wins it.
And I would say probably after Quinn Hughes, I'll say this honestly, over the last couple of seasons there, Zach Werenski is another one of those play drivers as well. Canada's been able to shut him down, but I would not be surprised to see a long breakout pass for Mr. Werenski to be able to get the job done, because that's how he opened the scoring with Slovakia the other day with Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, he was elevated to power play quarterback number 1 last season because of the injury to Quinn Hughes at the Four Nations. But now a power play quarterback number 2, that's not bad for USA to have as an insurance option. And Jake Sanderson, who was impressive at the Four Nations last year, that's why he got the nod in this year's Olympic tournament. Hughes scored the OT winner against Sweden. It was Mitch Marner against Czechia, one of the most beautiful overtime winners you'll ever see in Olympic history. And Canada is playing their second OT game here, same for USA.
Yeah, I still don't know, as Ian was with me on the part of that call, he gets a chance with a backhand. He fights through the contact. We're seeing it here. And then roofs it. I mean, he skates between 3 Czechian players and no chance to make that save. What a shot.
Oh, for sure. What a shot that was.
Marner, again, he is no stranger in the mix of Four Nations or anything in the Olympics. Is Celebrini, kind of wonder what he's thinking. I know he's going to go back into a playoff race with the San Jose Sharks, but I imagine the 19-year-old is having the time of his life.
I mean, he's the team leader in points, and no other Shark even comes close to him, not even his best friend Will Smith on that team. And it's not that this to Will Smith, he's doing his own right.
Yes.
And there's a lot of time for this pairing to grow together. But Celebrini this year, 81 points. The next closest teammate is Smith with 39.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, the dwarf that he's already been able to do. If there was any sort of question about a number 1 overall pick and can they make that type of impact immediately, Macklin Celebrini's already done that. He's become a game changer. And I'm not making any sort of disrespect and commenting where I'm going with this. As far as Connor Bedard, it's going to take some time, and you got to get a chance to be healthy, because I think he's just as darn good too. But Macklin Celebrini, I think, has exceeded expectations, in my opinion.
He has, for sure. And it'll be interesting once we get to know the World Cup of Hockey rosters. But if this is a preview of what we're getting from Canada, then it's clear that McDavid's next in line to receive the captaincy. He's wearing this tee right now, but he's next in line for the full-time captaincy.
How old, off the top of your head, Alec, is Sidney Crosby right now? Is he, what, 38?
He is 38.
Okay.
So there's a likelihood that he's playing his last Olympics. We don't know what the future is going to hold for him. If he does come back, it's likely going to be as a limited role or being a team motivator. If he does call it a career, then maybe he can find a future in the coaching ranks because he's really good in captain material.
Yeah, he's a guy that I would see that would love the game so much that wouldn't want to leave it at any point, and I like that aspect that you just brought up for the coaching portion. Sidney Crosby, it's a shame that he wasn't able to play in this game because I'm not being disrespectful to Macklin Celebrini. We sung his praises, but Sidney Crosby, even at 38, if he was able to play in this game, you could make the argument he probably already could have scored the game winner because he's still one of the most complete players in the NHL, even at his age.
Of course, you mentioned Celebrini. He was so close on that breakaway that you just mentioned. He had other good looks throughout that third period. Some cross-ice feeds towards his stick that were met by some good stick taps from the United States. But now, one goal just separates the two of them from the gold medal.
I would say Connor Hellebuyck, no matter what happens, even if the United States lose, I agree with Alec. He's the number one star in this game for me. There is no way this game's still going on without him. For a hard trophy, MVP, everything that Connor Hellebuyck's been able to do in his career, this really is, gentlemen, to me, the best performance I've seen him have.
Of course, yes. Placing 40-plus shots throughout the game and being the benefactor of the United States. There were question marks how he's going to hold up under the bright lights. He silenced all the doubters.
I didn't get a chance to follow the U.S. all that closely. This is just my second game after the Slovakia one. So I know Jeremy Swayman appeared in one. He was able to get the victory. You know, the long shot that ended up being amongst the boards. But did Jake Ottinger play?
He did not.
Okay.
After Swayman played, Mike Sullivan decided to put Swayman as a third-string goaltender and Ottinger as the backup. So one game is enough to determine the sample size and said, yeah, Ottinger's the better goaltender.
So, yeah, we didn't get a chance to see him, and it's going to be a 2-1 game, just like it was a couple days ago between the U.S. women against Canada, and the players are making their way from the door onto the ice to a raucous cheer. I mean, I would say cheer for all of us, too. Even for the neighbors to the north, I'm certainly happy for them. I love this rivalry, and I know I want the United States to win this one, but this game has been epic. You know, we talk about everything else with the Miracle on Ice, the lead up, the Four Nations from last year, and whether or not this game could fit the bill. Could it get that close? It really has. This has been another heaping of a meeting between the USA and Canada, and I just can't get enough of it. This has been spectacular.
It has. And the hope here is that we get this finished before the closing ceremonies. I know the closing ceremony is this afternoon, nighttime in Milan. So they want to get that out of the way because they want Hillary Knight to be the flag bearer for the United States, as USA just mentioned that. Congratulations to Hillary Knight on an outstanding career in the international stage. And she went out right.
Absolutely. U.S. leader in multiple categories. 20-minute periods of this OT. Again, sudden death has the same, still 3-on-3. But instead of the 10, it's going to be 20. I don't think we're going to get any shootouts, at least in the gold medal game. So that's a good thing to be able to talk about at least. But 3-on-3, you figure Canada's got the advantage here, if we're being honest, as far as their top line. But it really, at this point, gentlemen, you know, you can't get caught chasing the puck. You know you're going to maybe give up some breaks here and there. But you got to be able to keep your guys in front of you.
You have to be a step ahead of who you're facing at. Matthews, Brady, Quinn, Hughes, MacKinnon, Makar, McDavid.
Here we go, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, everybody listening in the X Space, YouTube, appreciate all of you. Alec Nava Ian Genge have been with me this whole way through, and I humbly appreciate that. Matthews and MacKinnon in the middle of the circle. We're in overtime of the gold medal game in Milano Cortina. Nothing gets better than this. It's 1-1. It's going to be a 2-1 final. Who's going to get it? Stars and stripes of the red jerseys. Let's just drop the puck already. I can't wait anymore. It's 41-26 on the shot for. This is the third attempt. And Nathan MacKinnon wins it. Boldy steals it. And then it goes right back here to Cale. 3-on-3 sudden death. Cale Makar off the drop. This could end in an instant. Here is Connor McDavid off the gut. Wrister gets deflected away, and Boldy starts it. Boldy, outstretched pass. Here is Matthews cutting to the net. Boldy, one-timer! Oh, what a stop by Binnington! With the glove, that was Hughes. And this goes the other way now. That's his best of the game. Here is Nathan MacKinnon, and this is a 5-hole save for Hellebuyck. He's got it.
Where have we seen this before, John? An outstanding save from Jordan Binnington in overtime. We remember from last year when he made 3 spectacular saves in a row. Quinn Hughes has been out there for 25-40 on 26 shifts.
Oh.
He's been a busy workhorse, and USA is trusting him with the winning goal.
Slides over with a piece of the glove near the left post. If not, Quinn Hughes wins it. Jordan Binnington is going to have to play his best now. Again, Connor Hellebuyck's been standing on his head. Horvat runs it clean now for Devon Toews. And start again now. I believe that is Macklin Celebrini, as this one will go back. Start again one more time. 50 seconds have expired in the OT. Should we need it all? Celebrini up the gut. I would like to see him score, even as a U.S. fan. I'd be sorry for the kid, at least. Celebrini turns, shoots. This one gets deflected. U.S. now trying to quickly push this ahead. Good back check from Marner. Again, he's so versatile in all situations. No stranger to big goals. He's got plenty of those. Celebrini from Marner. And off the drop pass. A little too easy of an entry here for Macklin Celebrini. They'll play this in the back pass and can play puck possession 3-on-3. You see that a lot. Celebrini now for McDavid. McDavid accelerates past Larkin easily. McDavid on his backhand. McDavid to the net. And this one sticked away. And now Zach Werenski will stick it ahead. Beautiful blade ahead for the United States. They have numbers. Werenski cross pass. This one scores! United States win! Yes, sir! Zach Werenski to Jack Hughes.
Oh my goodness, what a pass!
Play Freebird. 2-1.
Freebird, play 7-Nation Army, play, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. 46 years in the making. Oh man. No better feeling than this. Jack Hughes, thank you so much. This means the world to all of us here in the United States.
Did anyone pick Hughes?
None of us.
None of us.
I thought his brother was gonna have it on that one time.
Yep.
But you know what? Younger brother comes through.
Let me say this, and I'm not saying it in a disparaging way. There was a lot of talk on that third line for Four Nations about Jack Hughes maybe playing a little bit injured, not coming up to snuff. The last couple of games between Slovakia now and this game winner, Jack Hughes has been one of the most prominent players on Team USA in the Olympics. He comes through in a big way. He played well.
Oh, Johnny Hockey, this one's for you.
You know what? Yes. Please bring his jersey out.
I would love if they bring the jersey. If they bring the jersey out, I'm probably going to start to tear up.
Yeah, please. Oh my goodness.
All right, gentlemen, I think, at least for me, I want to stick around for these celebrations. Do you guys mind hanging out for another 10, 15 minutes?
Bring him.
Oh my goodness. 46 years. Oh my. I did have my questions about the roster selection. And could we have used Jason Robertson and Adam Fox? For sure. But as are the players, was this the best team that we've ever assembled? Absolutely yes. It starts with the foretaking of Zach Werenski. Werenski finds Hughes in front, but his back turns towards one of the Canadians. And Jack Hughes finishes the job. Top right corner as he places it opposite side, or bottom right corner, is the biggest goal of his lifetime. So I said 5-0 on Jordan Binnington, who's been outstanding in this game.
Yep.
And I gotta say, props to Canada for fighting hard. But to say, this rivalry isn't over. If anything, it's just the start of the new era.
It's just the start. But you know what? I am so happy for Jack Hughes because the Devils have fallen off so hard. At least he has this. He has this. Wins a gold medal with his brother.
They brought the jersey out.
Yep. It's out.
Yep. And his closest friends, Matthew Tkachuk and Zach Werenski, are the ones loading it up. How fitting is that?
Yeah.
I'm seeing it now as you guys are a little bit ahead of me. There it is, Johnny Gaudreau, the Tkachuks, Auston Matthews holding it out. I mean, that is absolutely freaking glorious. That's a picture that we're going to see all across social media. And now they're panning to Guy Gaudreau and Meredith, and Guy is now starting to shed some tears. That is beautifully done for the United States. World class.
It is. Oh my goodness. Tage Thompson, who scored the winner in the Worlds last year, he is in tears right now. And Jack Hughes, the friend who made those predictions, the initial predictions, I just said about he himself is a Devils fan, and he is so happy to have witnessed this.
I got to be honest with you, gentlemen. And I know Alex said this earlier. I agree with your sentiment. I think this is the best United States group up and down that they've ever had. We talked about it with Connor Hellebuyck. In that second period, I mean, you're being outshot 22-8. He's making save after save. All the United States could do is dump this one down the ice. I mean, Canada would have won this game by that 5-3 scoreline that I said earlier if Connor Hellebuyck didn't have the game that he did. Yes, Jack Hughes comes up clutch. Yes, he probably gets the number one star. But the United States don't celebrate here if not for Connor Hellebuyck because he's getting his camera shots. That was the best game he's ever played.
I don't hear you. So, gentlemen, I don't know if this is a good take or not. But I was talking with my dad saying that in no way will hockey, Olympic or not, ever have a dream team. I don't know. I don't know if I was right about that because
there was two dream teams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Canada, Alec, who would you want to replace on the roster? I mean, everybody dominated for them.
That I don't think you can really replace anyone on this roster. Well, Brad Marchand may be an easy pick because he's getting up there in age. For World Cup of Hockey, I would say Marchand gets replaced, but his chemistry makes it unvaluable for that. Sidney Crosby, I think he is playing his last Olympics or last international tournaments. Well, for that, who knows what's going to happen next? But everybody here played outstanding games for what it's worth. And I can't
make the argument that they replaced Drew Doughty. I thought I saw his jersey. Did Doughty even get on the ice?
Doughty had about 6 or 7 shifts that we called, but it wasn't a lot. He's in the bottom pairing at this point.
Yeah,
he gets replaced.
Yeah, because he's getting up there.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age. He's playing his last few years in the NHL, so he gets replaced. I would say Chikrin, Uyghur, for that matter. Maybe Bouchard if you want power play minutes for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys make a couple good calls there because I'm thinking about it. We're talking maybe about 3 or 4 players that you might sub out, but this entire core of Team Canada, I thought played exceptionally well. Their second period was terrific. Connor Hellebuyck was just the difference. And again, we talked about it up and down the ice, about clearing the puck, maybe trying to get something. And I don't know how you even explain it either. The United States take 16 penalties in this tournament? They kill all 16.
Perfection.
They killed a 5-on-3
Yes.
against a power play unit that boasted McKinnon, Makar, and McDavid. 3 M's of doom. And they shut them down. And again, start constructing those 2 statues of Hellebuyck immediately.
No exceptions. We want those statues right here and right now.
We finally got a camera shot of Sidney Crosby as Jack Hughes is being interviewed. I want to mention this before we get into the medal ceremonies, because I saw the quote from Tkachuk on social media. He goes, "It's not just about us. We're carrying the legacy of everything that happened between Miracle on Ice and all the teams before us. This matters. This is what it means to play for the U.S. and for USA Hockey." I think the Tkachuks have been great ambassadors. I know some of the people across the border don't like it all that much, but they embody everything that the United States likes to bring. They're a huge part of it, and Matthew Tkachuk certainly understands what it means. He said it right.
Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, if you'll indulge me real quick. What the fuck is
Oh my goodness. And nonetheless, there's something else that happened on this day in the year 1732. The birth of the first president of the United States, Mr. George Washington.
Thank you for that factoid, Alex. Wow. How did you find that?
Oh, I remember.
Seriously, how do you know?
That's why I always talk about Mr. Alec Nava. His middle name is Encyclopedia. He always brings those interesting nuggets there between the miracle, the birth of George Washington. This is a day for America. They got a gold medal against Canada. Both the women and the men take gold in Milano Cortina. Italy was a great sight to them. And what a cross pass that was. And alongside for Zach Werenski. Hey, I did say he was going to play a part of it at some point. He sets up the primary for Jack Hughes. And as Ian said it right, I feel happy for Jack Hughes because you take whatever it was from the 4 nations, you flush it. He's been outstanding in the Olympics. And you know what? Sometimes you got to fight through adversity to be able to get in the game. You withstand the attack. You got a good netminder. We know that. And, I was speechless throughout most of it, soaking it in. I was glad that you guys were here because when that happened, I was like, what? We just won?
Yeah. I still can't believe it. If you were to tell me that we would have won the gold medal the moment the roster selections dropped, I would have called you crazy. But here we are. Honestly, I can't wait to see this rivalry continue on to World Cup of Hockey in 28. Yeah. Hopefully we get the same matchup in 28, and hopefully with different rosters, much stronger rosters. Hopefully we see Robertson and Fox. Hopefully we see a more Celebrini. Maybe Canada can go Bouchard, Macklin, for all that. Maybe they go younger and or keep Horvat, Suzuki, and have a little more go around with Sam Bennett, who's been a big game player.
Hell, for all we know, if he goes on the Matthew Schaefer arc, we may see a Gavin McKenna or Matthew Schaefer or
yes,
or both. Screw it, put both on the same line.
Yeah, because it feels like Gavin McKenna. I hyped up Gavin McKenna so much here because it feels like he's going to be the next big thing here in this coming draft. He's much like I know for a fact it's not really the same draft class, but he might as well be the NHL version of Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Oh, and just yes, keep showing these Hellebuyck highlights.
Oh man.
Keep showing them. Keep showing all of them. Show the world what we have in the net. And again, 2 statues. DC and his hometown immediately. And you know what? Let it be the pose on let it be the Toews block where he blocked it with his stick and then scooted it out.
Exactly. Please let it be that.
Brick wall doesn't do justice for the Commerce, Michigan Township native. Again, 15 minutes from where I am was where he was born. And you have two breakaway saves, one on McDavid, one on Celebrini, and then a splendid stick save that we have no otherworldly idea how he kept it out. So, I mean, you talk about the save percentages we said in the 940s coming in. This is the biggest moment. I know the United States were not favored. They were the second team as far as the tournament. And look, you talk about the way the seeding was. Yes, they got the easiest group C because they won the Worlds last year. I said it in the open, and I think you gentlemen agree. They could have easily lost that game to Sweden. Canada could have easily lost that game to Finland. These tournaments were up and down to the quarterfinals. Everything was OT, and we got the matchup that we wanted. And we got the result that we wanted, and I think this game superseded any expectations.
Now, I did say on one of the episodes they did on Foursquare Sports, the show that we do, one of my friends I mentioned was the Devil's fan, in which the host, Matt Sirianni, said that Norway can have the lead in the Olympic medals. We'll take the gold in both women's and men's hockey. We'll take that any day, and we'll have a smile on our faces with knowing that.
Let me ask you this, Alec. I want to read your thoughts, then we'll get into Ian. We see the women win for U.S. They were favored. You had a bunch of shutouts here in Frankel, Megan Keller. You know about all that. But now the U.S. men win. And then they had the World Junior wins over the last few. I know Canada hasn't always brought the best team there, but this is best on best here. Canada might still have the edge as far as the top, but not today. But I would say the U.S. is not that far behind. Would you agree that they're almost neck and neck with Canada, or is Canada still better than the United States as far as building?
Now that I look back on this, I think it's become neck and neck now. It's too close to call.
Yeah, honestly. By the way, I have a quick public service announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this is the overtime playoff hockey is the only drug I will endorse for recreational use.
Absolutely. Inject it into my veins, Mr. Genge. I agree with you.
Oh, here come the medals. Yes.
And let me say this again. You guys are kind, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. You take that silver medal and you accept it around your neck. And I know what they put on social media that silver shines just as bright as gold. That is a lie.
Oh my goodness. Well, they are different elements of the periodic table.
They sure are, but you can talk about however you want to question it in Canada. Be happy with that silver, but it does not shine as bright as gold. Congratulations to the U.S. 2-1 golden goal winner Jack Hughes and the New Jersey Devils in overtime.
Now we wonder what's next for both USA and Canada. Do we see some players getting replaced? That's what we're going to find out 2 years from now, come World Cup of Hockey. For now, we'll enjoy the rest of the hockey season. Oh, man. And there's a tough question that I had to ask some people. Would you rather, between NBA, NHL, and MLB, have a championship for your respective team or a gold medal for your respective sport? That's tough.
Oh, man. If it's anything like this, I'll sacrifice the Pistons and the Red Wings, even though they're up and coming, to get a gold medal that we got today, to be able to do this game with you and have this broadcast and win 2-1. I'm taking gold.
What about you, Ian?
I second what John just said.
That's really tough, Alec. I'm glad you brought that question because I had to think about that for a little bit because that would hurt my heart not to see the Red Wings or the Pistons win in the next decade. But if that just means that the United States would get a couple more golds, even the World Cup of Hockey, whatever else next, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I said it in the opening against Slovakia when we closed. with my heart, I took the United States, and I tried to give reasons. And we both said that we were game with this. We agreed it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be 2 in regulation. From the way the second period looked, I did not think the United States were going to come out and win this one. I was trying to be as neutral as I could. I just didn't see it happening. But the way that they stuck through, and also I'll give full marks to Mike Sullivan. Yes, I know it's the players. You could talk about who you want on the coaching staff. Doesn't matter. He helped to get the job done today, too.
He did. And I'm free overtime. What's up, Ian?
Andy Agar with an absolute murder. Hellebuyck is unreal. After the Super Bowl, it's good to see a Patriot who actually knows how to block.
No. It just happened.
That was the bomb drop on the comedy hour, Ian. That's well done.
That was cold-blooded.
We're going to work our way through the medal ceremonies here, and then we'll close. Alec Nava, Ian Genge, and myself, my name is John Ott. We're taking you through this play-by-play. They're more than happy to do so. And once we close to this ceremony, gentlemen, I'm glad we got the whole way through. We got what we wanted. And I could selfishly say, Dylan Larkin, you're going to come back home to the Red Wings with a gold medal around your neck. And I want to say this as well. I love the fact that Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Quinn, Hughes, Werenski, and I know a lot of them are friends, played at Michigan and things like that. But I really appreciated a lot of them said that Dylan Larkin is one of the heart and soul players. And I love that he gets his recognition during the international competition because I think he's played very well from 4 nations in the Olympics.
Outside of all the 3 members of the top line of USA, Larkin's played like arguably the most important player on Team USA. With his offense and defense, his speed, that just makes him a very valuable piece. Can't wait to see him for World Cup of Hockey. He can do this again 2 years from now. Oh, man. So happy for this moment to finally happen. 46 years.
And the dejection on the faces for Team Canada, I don't want to read too much into that, but when you're looking at it, you know what the only thought process was, which was gold. It's not like he didn't play a great game. Again, Ian gave us the quote of the century. He's put that one across for Connor Hellebuyck. We're going to go through the silvers, and then we go into the gold. And then once we get some particular facial reactions for some of our favorite players, I will chime in there as well. But we're going to continue to take you through this until close.
A lot of world-class players, and I'll say for a fact that my heart breaks for Crosby and Seth Jarvis.
Yep.
I'm so happy for Jaccob Slavin.
You said that alongside with Jaccob Slavin over the last few. We're saying who are some of the best defensemen, maybe even underrated in the NHL. Jaccob Slavin's going to get a big service with that gold medal because you're right. The shot blocks, everything else that he does. He is one of the very best. And if not for the United States efforts in that first, especially in the second, to block some of those shots, yes, Hellebuyck stopped a ton. But we said it throughout the broadcast many times, gentlemen. They stopped so many chances in the slot. Try to keep things clear when it got chaotic. That group played well. And as we said, you're 16 for 16 on the penalty kill, 3 times against the Canadians as well when you're being submerged with shots. You just can't do any better.
Yep. Jaccob Slavin has been a beast on his own end. And Carolina is so happy to have him on the team. For when we get ready to go in the Stanley Cup playoffs, there's going to be a lot more Slavin. And it's going to be another Eastern Conference final run for Carolina. Stanley Cup Finals, another conversation. It's going to be tight between us and whoever comes south the Atlantic. Maybe Tampa, but you never know.
No, you never know. And as Ian said, maybe there'll be a point where they just never stop getting hot. I'm hoping that the Red Wings win a round. I think that is about their ceiling. I would just like to see playoff action. But if it is against Montreal and Detroit, probably expect me to lean on that a little bit as far as the West Central and the East Atlantic. As Brad Marchand, again, a couple Stanley Cup championships, and then now you have a silver medal there. Sidney Crosby, I would have loved to see him play. Again, I speak for a lot of Americans here. You want to see everybody at full power. I know a lot of you guys might think otherwise, but would have loved to see Sidney Crosby play. It's too bad he couldn't suit up.
And my heart breaks so much for him because I would have loved to see him suit up for Canada to have one last run at it. He just ultimately felt like he's too hurt to get going. I respect his selflessness to give up the captaincy to Connor McDavid for this game. And if he knows that if he can't go, then he knows that his body is giving out.
So we're going to get in now for, I'm not sure what the stuffed animals are. Again, this is the first time that I've seen this. I know they handed this out in between the medals. But once we get through this, then we'll get to the United States. I just want to see the smile on Dylan Larkin. That lights up a room. I'm going to say that selfishly for me. I'm going to be very happy today here locally.
Oh, yes. We did it.
Absolutely. You know what? There is one other thing that I kind of regret about this. And well, regret's a strong word. What I would have loved to have heard, and gentlemen, I don't think you're going to disagree. I would have loved to have heard Don Emmerich on that final goal by Jack Hughes.
No doubt. Again, that's a voice that we miss. Yep.
Oh, a double score call would be amazing, just like those double banks of Mike Breen. Though Kenny Alvarez put up some double score calls before, such as the Ovechkin 895 goal and some of the most outstanding goals of the Stanley Cup playoffs, like Corey Perry's game time goal in Game 2 of last year's finals. But I feel that the Megan Keller goal was the best call that he's made up until this point.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to agree. That was absolutely spectacular.
I couldn't really hear it. I'm going to have to go back and hear Mike Tirico's call and see if it holds up.
United States now getting set to get their golds before we close here. Gentlemen, again, Alec Nava Ian Genge, I just want to say thank you for joining me in this gold medal game. And I got a chance to do a lot for the WJCs, but nothing compares to the Olympics on a stage like this. We knew what we wanted to see in this matchup. Both teams 5-0, trying to get into this. They finish it off, and I'm not happier than be with you, gentlemen.
Watch Jeremy swim and inspect every single aspect of that goal medal.
As he should. It looks awfully nice, says Mr. Jeremy Slavin. I like that.
And yes, it's real. It will not disappear.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
I'll just say for a fact that I remember a post that Tyrese Halliburton made after USA men's basketball won gold. When you do nothing in a group project and still get an A. Oh my goodness. I mean, Jeremy Swayman didn't actually do nothing in the group project. He actually contributed to it, but even though it was in a lesser role onto it, he still was part of an A+ effort for the United States. Best penalty kill, best goaltending group, 100% of it, all the way.
Say Matt Boldy as well. Congratulations to you. That opening goal. He's such a good 200-foot player. It was just such a privilege to be able to watch him over the last couple of games. They're very underrated, Mr. Boldy.
Yes, people talk about Kirill Kaprizov on the Minnesota Wild, so much so that Boldy is kind of like the second face of Minnesota up until Quinn Hughes was acquired by the Wild. So with that in mind, people forget about Boldy a lot on that 4-4, but he is just as good among this USA 4-4.
And Matthew Tkachuk with the celebration that you would expect. He's standing right by Dylan Larkin, who just got the goal with the big smile and a handshake on his face. And that's so cool to see Dylan Larkin get that gold medal. I don't want to just be so about my own team, but that feels good. Between Larkin there and Jeremy Swayman, that's my two favorite reactions so far as he gives a hug to Charlie McAvoy.
Well, do they give out? Do they give out MVPs in the Olympics.
They do in the World Juniors. I'm hoping that they do here at the end of it because we know who's going to get it. If so,
Yep. Hellebuyck. We know that's for certain. Auston Matthews is the most happy he's been for
yes.
Captain America there. And you can't take that away from Matthews anymore. He's captain material now.
Oh, I love that from Hellebuyck as he salutes the crowd. He gives a big fist pump. And now Quinn Hughes with the gold on his neck. He was so missed during the Four Nations being able to get the job done.
Oh, yeah. We sorely missed him in last year's Four Nations. And we're so happy to have him back here.
And it showed. The pace of play was different. The shooting power that we had. The shot production when he was on the ice was amazing, including his very own OT winner.
Let me mention this too. I know Alec talked about it, but I covered the Worlds last year. It's been a good year and a half for Tage Thompson, hasn't he? He's got an Olympic gold, he's got a world gold, and now the Buffalo Sabres are relevant. And now you have Jack Hughes with the golden goal. Maybe missing a two, but he doesn't mind it.
Even if he's not in contention for it, Tage Thompson is still my pick for MVP.
I would love to see that should Buffalo make the playoffs. Yeah, because it's been so long for the Buffalo Sabres since last making the playoffs that it's time. And this year, for Tage Thompson winning a goal for USA should be a motivating factor.
He's one of the most complete players. And again, when you go back across to Thompson on the line, I know this goes without saying. What is he, 6'6"? He looks like an absolute monster in comparison to everybody on Team USA.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think he is the tallest player.
Yeah, he is the tallest player among the forwards. 6'6". Even though he's not overly physical, his one-timer is among the absolute best in the league. From Ovechkin's office.
Yeah.
Look, I know the trade for Ryan O'Reilly netted the St. Louis Blues the Stanley Cup in 2019. But good Lord, if I wouldn't want Tage Thompson on the Blues right now.
Yeah, and he's on a very friendly deal for the Sabres as well, but he's not going anywhere.
No. He's happy in Buffalo now, which is a sentence that I never thought I would say.
I
mean,
There we go with the jersey again, gentlemen.
Jersey. Yep. He would have been a lock to make this roster too.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question.
And now they're cutting the Meredith and the kids. It brings a tear to your eye there. You got Noah, you got Guy, you got everyone else. That would have been nice. You know what they should do in the Olympic Committee? Get an extra gold medal so they can wrap it around the jersey. That'd be a nice touch.
Yeah, that would have been good.
It should. They should. Yep. And as the anthem is about to be played here, it celebrates the gold medal. You know, well, for all we know, they should bring that Gaudreau jersey right to the podium and hoist it up.
Absolutely, because you know he would be here, as you said, Alec. It's bittersweet with the United States. They win gold at the Worlds. They've won gold at WJCs over the last couple, and now they get gold in the Olympics. So that's when I asked you that question of whether or not they're there with Canada or caught up as they're playing the Star-Spangled Banner. And you see the three nations. Finland got the bronze. Canada gets the silver. United States, hand in hand, arm in arm, get gold. Beautiful sight.
46 years later, and yes, I still do believe in miracles.
Al Michaels, if you're listening to this, we all believe in miracles.
I'm sure he would have loved to have called this.
I mean, a younger Al Michaels would have nailed it. I'll say that.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to have to go back and listen to Tirico's call of that final goal. Oh, and I completely forgot that Clayton Keller was What's on the roster? Clayton, I'm sorry, man.
He's a gold medalist. Yes, sir.
I just wish Jason Robertson were here to be on the team to
I agree.
win the goal, and same with Adam Fox. But we take what we can get. But USA, I think they should have these two on the World Cup of Hockey roster.
Gentlemen, thank you again. This was so much fun. 2-1 overtime game winner for the United States and Jack Hughes as they beat Canada twice. U.S. women, Megan Keller. U.S. men, Jack Hughes. Unbelievable job, fellas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is going to be a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. Get some sleep. Recharge. It's probably going to be hard to go to sleep tonight after everything that's done, but we'll get more camera shots here as we get set to close out. Guys, it was a privilege. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Absolutely. See you then, guys.
United States have done it. 2-1 celebration. We got all that there. Now they get the team pictures. Close it all up. United States win 2-1 in overtime. Jack Hughes and the Jersey Devils helps the U.S. get gold. It was a wonderful stream. Glad to get the boys back here with me as they get that team picture. Beautiful stuff.